are marked, but this was the training that we got. All right, so when you, all of you are sitting for your SPM 2021 in 2022, when we are marking only, then we will really know, okay, how it's done, right? So, but don't worry about it. I don't want any one of you who's sitting for SPM to worry about it, because let me tell you, CFR aligned curriculum is much easier than the previous KBSM paper. So you're in the safe hand, and all of you have the experience of sitting PT3 English Language CFR aligned paper in 2019, which all of your juniors, last year's junior, your junior, all right, those in 2020 in Form 3, and this year, 2021 Form 3, sadly is unlucky because they have not gone through it. So you have gone through it, you know how it is like. So that is actually for me a plus point for all of you, because you were the first group to sit for the PT3 CFR aligned paper, and now you will be the first group to do it for SPM. All right? Okay. Can I take over from you, Nurwanira? Intima must be a teacher, right? See?
Yeah, Miss Nadia, Dr. Ilham, sure.
Okay. I'm going to share now my, because I have two that is open. Hold on. I can see your comments, so don't worry about it. You can write your comments. When I ask questions, just answer, right? Still not sharing. Okay, it'll take some time. Okay. So I'm sure you can see that. I hope I get my date right. Okay. All right. All the strategies that I'm teaching you actually helps you not only for your SPM, but later in your STPM, and also in your working life when you go and work and your bosses or whoever your superior asks you to write something. This is what you're supposed to do, because I do this when I'm doing reports and so on to make sure that I'm at the right track. I'm going to give you a formula, all right? And I think you all love formulas, especially what's more when you are a science school. Okay, you all love formulas just like maths and science. All right, let's start first. The first thing, how many parts are there in the writing paper? 11192. Paper 2, you know, I hope you know that writing paper is paper 2. So how many parts are there? I'm sure all of you know. Just write in the chat box. If you want to speak on the mic, it's fine. I'm fine with all. Everyone, oh, wow, okay. Penang very smart, right? 3, okay, good. I love so many responses. Okay, good. How many minutes should you spend on each part? How many minutes should you spend on each part? Since all of you know there are 3 parts, how many minutes should you spend on each part? Silence is golden. You don't know, your teacher has never told you how 35, okay. Nurul Izzah, you a student or a teacher? Okay, 35 minutes, I guess. Okay, so for each, okay, all right, thank you, Nurul Izzah. So you feel that you should spend 35 minutes for each because you see how many hours is the paper? That's a question that I didn't write there. How many hours is the paper for 11192? 3 different, Chazina says 3 different, 1.5 hours. Okay, so Nurul Izzah said 35 minutes. Okay, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay, all right, we'll come to that. So my advice is the first part 15 minutes, second part 30 minutes, the last part 45 minutes, and I explain to you why in a moment when I'm going through the parts. Okay, what are the marks for each part? Since you say there are 3 parts, what are the marks for each part? Okay, thank you, Aliyah. If you say 20, right, then why should you spend 15, 30, 45 minutes, right? Because all the same. All right, thank you, Nurul Fazlina, also 20 marks. Okay, so 20 marks for each. Okay, can you tell me why 15, 30, 45? I know you can't answer that, I'm just asking for fun. No answer. Anyone wants to say on the mic, it's fine. Different requirements and level. Thank you, Simalata. Don't know whether teacher or student. All right, paper 2. We're going to look at paper 2. These are what we are looking at because of level. Yes, Fazlina. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Part 1, we're going to look at part 1, which is a short communicative message. Part 2, essay, and part 3. There are 4 types of questions they can ask. All right, but they will only ask 3. And you have to choose 1. So they can ask you, it can be an article, a report, a story, or a review. Okay? Right. Okay, your teacher is helping you to answer that. Now, for paper 2, 25% writing. Okay, I want you to know that all 4 papers have equal weightage. Okay, or weighting. That means 25% for reading, 25% for writing, 25% for listening and speaking, and then 25% for listening. So not one of the skill is more important than the other. That's what it tells us, that all 4 language skills are equally important. So please don't focus on only 1 or 2 of the skills and forget the other 2 because you think it is not important. It is, right? So the item is limited response, which would be always part 1. And then you got open response, which will be part 2 and part 3. All right. So I'm advising, my advice is 15 minutes because you only have to write about 80 words for part 1. Part 2 is between 125 to 150 words, and part 3 is 200 and 250 words. So the range of the question actually is B1, B2, but the question starts from A2 as you can see, and it can go up to C1. All right. So that is the level of the papers. So the first part is low level, and then it goes on to a higher level. So the marks are the same, but the marking will become more strict as you go to part 3, right? It's not as lenient as part 1. Let's start with part 1. All right. So it's a short communicative message, usually an email. If they don't give you an email, it can be a very short message, right? But usually it's an email. So these are the steps that you need to take when you are doing your writing paper. No matter how many times you have done this, practice your writing, you cannot stop doing these steps because the instruction can change and you wouldn't realize unless you read them. If Lembaga Peperiksaan wants to see whether you read instruction or not, they just change the instruction. And if you don't read the instruction and you just answer based on what you think is the norm, you will get into trouble, okay? You read the instruction. Stimulus is usually the email that they give that you need to reply. So that's called a stimulus. Underline the keywords, all right? Answer 7 questions. Okay, this is the formula. What are the 7 questions? Tapela. I'm sure you know what's a tapir. Tapir is an animal, and I add the la at the back. All right, I'll explain to you what it means in a while. Then you write your email, and then you read your email to check you have answered the question. So you use these 7 questions that you have answered in step 4 to guide you. Now, I've broken down the steps so precisely that you think that, can I finish everything? All these things, all this, like for example, 1, 2, 3 will always happen at the same time. It's not like you read instruction, then you read stimulus. It happens at the same time. It's just that I've broken down the steps so that you can see clearly what you need to do, right? All this actually happens within a few, very few, within 1-2 minutes is done. Okay, then you can concentrate on your email, and then you just double check to make sure you have answered what you need to answer, and then if you have time, you edit, right? Okay, let's look at the question, example question, part 1. You must answer this question. You have no choice, you must answer this question. So you received an email from your new friend Amin, who has just moved to your neighborhood. I think you have this question in the handout that I've given you, all right? Now, this is the message that email that Amin has given to you. Hi, tomorrow is a public holiday. Let's play a sport with our neighbors. What shall we play and where shall we go to play? What should we bring? I'm looking forward to your reply. Bye. Okay, and then now write an email to your friend in about 80 words. This will be the instruction given, so you have to make sure you read all this, right? So I've read the question, okay? So example steps 1 and 2. I'm reading the question. I'm reading the question. Okay, I must answer. It's an email, and I'm reading the stimulus. The step 3 is underline the keywords. What are important keywords in this that I need to underline? Anyone want to share? What are the keywords?
Play sport.
All right, play sport. My spelling, let's play a sport. My play it's really one, sorry. It's not a player. There's a different meaning there. All right, play a sport. Okay, any more?
What shall we play?
I'm a typical teacher. I'm sorry. Once I see a mistake, I cannot take it. Very typical teacher. Okay, this one is correct, right? How come the second one is wrong? Where is it? Okay, typical teacher. All right. Okay, some more. What did you say again, girl?
What shall we play?
Okay, what shall we play, right? All right, so there, where shall we go to play? All right, thank you, Sarah.
What should we bring?
What should we bring? Okay, any more that you want to add? Thank you, Hakimi, Hilmi. All right, thank you for your answer, appreciate it. Okay, so what's important is you must make sure you have received, what have you received an email from whom? A new friend. I mean, he has just moved, okay? Just moved to the neighborhood, and tomorrow, public holiday. You need to know it's a public holiday, play a sport with the neighbors. What and where do we need to play, all right? And what to bring. So write an email about 80 words. Please do not write too long, because this question, it's A2 level English. A2 level English means that it is year 6 form 1. All right, and you are now form 5. So please don't spend too long on this question, because I think all of you are able to write a very short, simple reply to this question. Okay? So what you need to do for step 4, this is what I'm going to teach you now. You have underlined the keywords, which actually you just take a highlighter. If you have a highlighter, you just highlight it in your exam paper when you're having it. All right. So the 7 questions that you need to answer, you have actually learned this since form 3 in your close-up textbook. Okay. Which are very important to ensure that you answer what you need to answer. And I've added more other questions which will help you score in your exam, all right? So the 7th question, the tapela, is the first one. What do I need to write? If you remember in your close-up book, I don't know if you remember, only teachers will remember. Usually pupils don't remember. Okay, what do I need to write means it's a type of paper, a type of essay. What do you need to write? What do you need to write for this?
An email.
Yes, so it's an email. You think that it's such a simple thing, because later when we go to the higher level one, then you will have some issues with it. Who is my audience? A very important question. A is audience, T is type, A is audience. Who is my audience? The person who's going to read this email.
Amin.
Right, Amin, your new friend, right? Okay, number 3. You're going to P, purpose. What is the purpose of writing this email? The reason you are writing this email. What is the purpose? See, this is where everybody gets stuck. If you do not know your purpose, you will not be able to answer the email accurately. What is the purpose?
Suggest type of sport, things about sport lah.
Okay. I heard another person trying to answer, and then
To reply to Amin.
to reply to Amin. Okay, the purpose is to suggest a sport, right? Because he said, let's play a sport. What the purpose of writing this is to suggest a sport to Amin. What sport do I need to play? We need to play, all right? Number 4, what information must I include? Information. So you have type, audience, purpose, information. What information must I include when I want to suggest a sport?
The place to play sport.
All right, the place.
What should they? What
What?
type of sport and what should they bring along with them?
Okay, so there are 3 important information that you need to include, which would be what to play, where to play, and what to bring. So you need these 3 to ensure you fulfill the task, meaning the question asked by Amin. Okay, now the reason I asked about audience is because you need to know the register. Now this register is not the one that your teacher take, the register who comes to school, who doesn't come to school. That's not the register. I'm sure you know what register here means. What's register? The language that you need to use. Okay, there are 3 kinds of register being in Form 5, because in Form 3, you only learn 2, all right? But in Form 4 and Form 5, especially in Form 5, you know you add another 1. So knowing who your audience will determine the register you need to use. If you get your audience right, your register, if you get your audience wrong, you will get a register wrong. Okay, so what register should you use?
Informal.
Right, so it's informal because you're writing to a friend. It's informal. What's the other 2 register? There are 2 more, there are 3 registers, right? You got informal,
Formal.
formal, and one more? Semi-formal. All right, I hope you know there is semi-formal. The semi-formal features is they have some that you use from informal and some from formal, but there are some informal features you cannot use in semi-formal, which I will come to it when we discuss semi-formal registers, okay? Now, these are very important, number 6, because there are points and marks for you when you use this. What suitable linkers or sequence connectors can be used? I'm sure you know what linkers are. I'm just giving you some example. Are, and, however, therefore, also, then, so, or, because, nevertheless, moreover, however. These are all linkers. So L stands for linkers. And the last one, number 7, is what suitable words can be used. You are going to talk about a sport. So we are looking at accuracy. That is why the choice of words are very important. Stop using the same kind of words over and over again, like it's good, it's nice, what else? Everything, instead of, for example, like, everyone seems to use that kind of words. Avoid that because it tells the examiners that you do not have enough vocabulary. So try to use a variety of vocabulary, but it must be accurate. Don't try to use vocabulary and the usage of that word is inaccurate, okay? So we also look at spelling, we look at punctuation, and we look at your words for accuracy. So that is what TAPELA stands for: type, audience, purpose, information, register, linkers, and accuracy. So accuracy, not only words, but also spelling of the words, and make sure you use your punctuation accurately. Because all of you very young people are using a lot of social media where your I, when you're talking about yourself, is you use it in small letters instead of capitalizing it. You don't have your commas, you use short form, that's where spelling comes in. Because if my pupils send me message like the one I read on social media, I will say, I do not understand. I'm sorry, I'm old, so I don't understand, and I don't want to take my time trying to figure out what you're trying to tell me. So I will ask you to send me back and write in full. I'm sorry if you are my pupil, that's what I do. Because I myself write in full, I don't write short form because I do not know how to do so. That's what happens when you're old. Okay, now, so after you have done this, right, you know all this, that what you need to do, you write your email. I'm just giving you an example here. This is a sample essay. Hi, Amin, that's a splendid idea. I suggest we play football because all our neighbors enjoy playing football. Furthermore, most of them are very good at the game. Therefore, we can learn from them on how to improve our game. We can play the game at the field in our neighborhood. The field is big and it has goalposts. The goalposts, however, do not have nets. I will bring the nets. Can you bring the football? I have lent my football to a school friend. Bye. Okay, so you actually can add your name down here. All right, that will be better. Bye, and you put whatever your name here. I didn't put any names here, but you can put your name there, which will be much better. So please remember to put your name down here. All right. Okay. So how is this? How is this? You have to check after you've written your email. Check. You have written an email. Yes. Did I write to Amin? Yes. Did I suggest a sport? Yes. Suggested football. All right. What to play? Which is football. Where to play? At the field in our neighborhood. What to bring? I'm supposed to bring a net, and I'm asked my friend to bring a football. Okay, done. All right. Informal. How do I know it's informal? Because I use hi, I use contraction, that's, and I have an exclamation mark. All right. And then I have a question. Can you bring football? I have buy. These are all indicator that this is an informal. Okay. So it is an informal email. If it's a formal email, it doesn't look like this, right? What suitable linkers can be used? There is and, however, okay, I've listed. And I've not listed the words. I will list the words in the next slide. I'll show you what the words, right? Now, when the examiners are marking, this is what they are looking for. All right, there are 4 criteria in assessing an essay. Okay, the first one is content, 5 marks. Okay, they want to see whether you have fulfilled the task. That is why the tapirla, the purpose and the information, the P and the I, okay, will have you get the 5 marks or not. Whether you know what's the purpose of writing it, you fulfill the purpose, and the information required, are the information required in. If they are all in, we are not looking at language, we are looking at content. You have the content, we understand what you're saying. Even though you have language problem, it doesn't matter. We give you 5 marks because all of it is covered. You have covered all the content, fine, right? Then we look at communicative achievement. This is where your register comes in, because if you use an informal register like to your friend, the tone is friendly. Okay, so your genre is the email, the format. So if you get your format correct, you're writing an email, the question number 1, what must I type as an email? That is for genre. Registers for informal, there's another one that we're looking at. And then we look at your way you write to your friend, the tone and the language that you use towards your friend. So this will give you 5 marks. Now, communicative achievement, there is some from language will have some impact on communicative achievement. If you use the wrong tone, you use the wrong words, it will affect communicative achievement, right? So this will be 5 marks. Organization, this is where I told you that how the text is put together, L, linkers, how ideas are linked. And accuracy of punctuation comes under organization. if you use the correct punctuation. If it's a question mark, you must make sure you have a question mark, exclamation mark, capitalization, full stop. Some of you, I think, very hungry will eat the full stop. Comma, all must be used accurately. All right. Then you have language, 5 marks. This is where I'm talking about spelling, vocabulary, accurate. How accurate are they? Okay. We also look at grammar. That is why you got language awareness, where we teach you grammar so that you use the knowledge of your grammar in your writing. So all these you can see are 5 marks, no matter whether it's part 1, part 2, part 3, but the level increases. So if you get all this in part 1, doesn't mean you will get all the 20 marks for part 2, because we are expecting you to write better and better as the part goes on. Okay, so you can see colorful because there's a reason for that. The 4 criteria: content, 5 marks, because when I'm reading this, I know play football is what? A game. Play at the field, the game at the field is where. I will bring nets. Can you bring football? Even though there's a reason why it's green, I cannot put 2 colors there. So what to bring? Content, 5 marks. Communicative achievement, 5 marks. Because hi, Amin, bye, can you bring football? That's a splendid idea. Tells me it is correct register. It looks like an email, so 5 marks. Organization, the one in purple, because furthermore, therefore, 5 marks. Language, this is the words that is being used: suggest, playing football, game, improve, neighborhood, field, goalpost, nets, lend. Accurate use of the word lend. What's the difference between lend and borrow? Anyone?
Borrow is like you are taking something from somebody with their what we call it? Which mean that they allow us to
With their permission, you mean?
We get their permission to take theirs. This is about the borrow. Lend is like we are giving them with our permission.
Okay, very good. So lend is we give it to someone, borrow is we take it from someone. Okay, you have to know who is the giver and who is the receiver to make sure that you use the word lend and borrow accurately. Okay, so thank you for the explanation. All right, now, no marks will be deducted. Thank you, Zainab, for that question. I don't know whether you're a teacher or not. What if the email is written in paragraphs? It doesn't matter if you write in paragraphs, but 80 words is just suitable for 1 paragraph. If you write more than 1 paragraph, no marks will be deducted. Okay, no marks will be deducted at all, because then it will come under organization. But I just want everyone to remember, this part 1 looks exactly the same like your PT3 paper. Remember the first part, it was a short message. I do not know whether I want to go for a picnic, or or do something during the holidays, or for a short course. Can you please help me? And you need to straight away just advise your friend what to do. Do you all remember that, or you have forgotten? Maybe forgotten. That was like for you 10 years ago, right? Have you forgotten? No, you don't have to count the word. Alia, we more or less will know. If you want to count the words, fine. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Okay, because we can see whether you have fulfilled the task, everything. If it's too short, you would not have fulfilled the task. Okay, all right. Please just write about 80 words. 80 to 100 words would be fine. Don't go and oh, another thing, please. When you saw the message, Amin say, hi, tomorrow is a public holiday, correct? He didn't ask, how are you? I hope you are fine. Please do not answer by, hi, Amin. I hope you are fine and in the pink of health. I hate that term, pink of health. Everyone seems to use that. Okay. No, he didn't ask you that. Please do not ask him that. Don't ask, how are you? Just straight away go into what you need to address. Like, for example, here, that's a splendid idea. That's good enough. Don't ask how are you, I hope you are fine, you and your family and you are all in the good health. No, please don't do that, because you only have 80 words and it's a short email. You're just supposed to just go to the point. You all get it? Because I see that no matter, yeah, I know they love to write long introduction. Please don't. This is 8. We want to see your part 3. Now, why do we have different parts? Part 1, you can't mix UK and US spelling in your essay. If you want to write in your UK spelling, everything should be UK spelling. If US spelling, US. For example, if my neighborhood here, I don't have a U because it's American spelling, and then I have a favorite, the word favorite. I don't know if I have favorite here now. Okay, I should not have U either for my favorite. I cannot have your neighborhood with the U and then my favorite without the U. That makes no. You have to make sure it is consistent from the beginning to the end of your essay. Okay, is that clear? There is no mixed. Okay, all right. We all of us might be mixed blood, but our essay cannot be mixed like us. Sad to say. Okay, so what was I saying? Don't write long introduction. The reason we have 3 parts, if part 1 you can write well, we know that you are a better level. So when we look at part 2, okay, we see that you can do also very well. We know that part 3 you can perform. So if you don't do well in part 1 and then suddenly you do well in part 3, we know what you have done. You have memorized essay. If you have memorized essay, we look at part 1 and part 2 and you don't do well, your part 3, no matter how you do well, you would not get the marks that you think you should get, because we know it's not your work, it's memorization. Because your part 1 and part 2 don't go hand in hand with part 3. Now do you understand why we have 3 parts? So that we can cross-check your language. Your language can't be very bad in the first 2 parts and then suddenly excellent in part 3. It makes no sense. Are you all clear with that?
Clear.
Yes, so don't go memorization. No point memorizing, because you will still not get the marks you deserve. You think you deserve, because we know that's not your work. All right, so remember, you can get good marks for organization when you use connectors. Now, and or but, so because first of all and finally, the one in dark blue, they are known as, I think your teacher used this word, the fanboys, is it? The fanboys, because I don't use that, because I have never taught KBSM Form 5, okay? Now, fanboys is considered simple, a very simple connector. The one in purple, for example, in conclusion, however, moreover, all those, these are considered a higher level kind of connectors. So use the purple one more in part 2 and part 3. Part 1 you don't use is fine, because you will still get marks for 5 marks for organization, because the examiners will be told that for part 1, if you use and or but because, you get 5. But in part 2 and part 3, you won't get 5. You will only get 3 marks if you only use that and you didn't use the one in purple, because we get our guidelines on how to mark different parts. Okay, right. That's the end of part 1. Very simple. Don't spend too much time on part 1. 15 minutes is fine. Go through the steps I tell you quickly within 2-3 minutes and then write the essay. It's not difficult to write part 1. Now part 2, guided writing, always an essay. Okay, so same thing. Read instruction, read the stimulus which would be given to you. Okay, underline the keywords, answer the 7 questions, tapela, write your essay, read your essay to check you've answered the question, the tapela question, and then edit if you have time. Edit means check your spelling, check your punctuation. Okay, all right. Now this is part 2. You must answer this question, write your answer in 125 to 150 words in an appropriate style. If you look at this essay, you would see that you have seen this essay, this kind of question in full blast and also in download. Okay, your class has been discussing about, I don't know, it can be any topic here, right? And your teacher has asked you to write an essay about your ambition. It's always like that, even in your full blast and in your download. In your essay, you should write what your ambition is, reasons for your choice, how would you fulfill your ambition. In your download book, they have another one, they'll just put a blank, right? But don't worry, usually if Lembaga gives you this stuff essay, there is no blank where you put in your own ideas, okay? Write your essay using all the notes and giving reasons for your point of view. So the step 1 and 2 would be to read the instruction, this instruction, read the stimulus. Step 3 would be underline the keywords. What keywords would you underline? What keywords would you underline? Can you please share?
Ambitions.
Right, ambitions are important. What else?
The reason.
Reasons, right? What else?
How can I achieve my ambition?
How, right? Good. Any more? No more. The others are silent. Are you all silent? Or are you, like you listened to TED Talk just now about listening? Are you all listening to understand? Because I know you're not listening to reply. Okay, using all the notes. Okay, right. Okay. So these are the things important, 125 to 150 words, ambitions, write an essay about nothing else but your ambition, and you must make sure you write about what your ambition is, reasons for your choice, how would you fulfill your ambition. So these 3 bullet points are very important, and then using all the notes, these are the notes, giving reasons, your point of view. Okay, so now we're going to go to do the tapirla. Okay, right. 7 question. What do I need to write? What do I need to write?
An essay.
Yes, simple, right? An essay. Make sure it's an essay, nothing else. You just because the what I want to say, the format of the paper is part 2 essay, don't assume it's always an essay. Read the instruction, okay? And also the stimulus at the bottom where they say write what, okay? And number 2, who is my audience? Who's going to read your essay? Yes, thank you, Nuraiman. Your teacher, because your teacher has asked, thank you, Hilmi, your teacher has asked you to write an essay. So your audience is your teacher. Okay, so what is the reason or what is the purpose of writing this essay? Because,
Our ambitions.
oh, okay, I thought you want to say because my teacher forced me to write. What is the purpose? Okay, the purpose is to discuss my ambition. So you have to discuss my ambition, right? You are writing it, so discuss my ambition. The purpose is that. So what information must I include? So the first one is type, second one is audience, third one is purpose, number 4 is information. What information must I include?
What my ambition is.
All right.
Reasons for my choice. And how would I fulfill my ambition?
Very correct. So you have that 3 bullet points there, which you must put: my ambition, reasons for my choice, how to fulfill my ambition. There's one more that I didn't put in here. You have to make sure you give reasons for your point of view. Meaning, if you give reasons for why you want to be an astronaut, you must give your reasons for that. Okay, if you want to explain how you fulfill your ambition, for example, I must be good at maths, for example, you must give reasons for your point of view. This is one more thing you need to include, right? Now, you know that you're writing to your teacher. You know it's an essay. So what is the appropriate register?
Semi-formal?
Again?
Semi-formal?
No, an essay will never be semi-formal. An essay is always formal. An essay is the most boring thing in the whole wide world. Okay? Right. It's very boring, very dry, but you can make it interesting in the way you write it. It's always formal. And you write to your teacher. So your teacher is someone who is an authority. You write formal. Okay. There's another reason, another purpose of writing semi-formal. We will come to it when we discuss part 3. Okay. Now, what suitable linkers? Now, there's an extra question in number 6 for part 2. In part 1, the question was only linkers. Now you have to add in your linkers paragraphing, because it's 125 to 150 words. So you can have all these, and however, therefore, and 3. Now the reason why I'm asking you to list this is when you are doing your writing, when you are preparing for your writing, you have to prepare before you write. These are some of the linkers that you can list down, so that you make sure while you are writing, if you've used them, you cancel it out. Oh, I've used this, I've used this, I've used this. But make sure you use it correctly. Okay, so once you have list down and you have cancel out what you have used, you know that how many linkers you have used and whether they are appropriate. That's the reason why you list them down. Because if you don't list them down, what happens when you are writing? You don't realize that you are using the same one over and over again because you are so busy trying to fulfill the content of your essay. Okay, and then what suitable words can be used? It all depends on your ambition. I cannot put here because I'm not the one writing. So if your whatever your ambition is, list down the suitable words. So plan this for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, look at this, plan. All right, you don't have to write the question in full. It is in your head, the formula. When the formula is in your head, you write in the paper, whatever way you want. Essay, teacher, discuss ambition. All right, you want to highlight the 3 information you want to include, register, you put there formal, and then you can list down all the linkers, okay, which you can also do in part 1. You list down all the linkers, and every time you use it, you mark it off. All right, and then words. What are the words? You want to be an astronaut. So what are the suitable words to describe astronaut and how you're going to fulfill your ambition? You just list them down so that you make sure you have the appropriate words that you are using. Make sure they are spelled correctly. All right, so this one, it is an actual essay written by a school like yours, okay? Because this school was the first school that asked me to share this kind of seminar with them. So they did the work 1 week before my talk, and then they submitted their essay. All right, so I have an actual student essay. Right, the ambition is indeed a necessity for every one of us because it encourages us to work harder in order to achieve our own life goals. As for me, I aspire to be a school teacher. I really idolized my mother, as she was once a school teacher who became a favorite of many of her students due to her ability to teach them in extraordinary ways. This indirectly encouraged her students to enjoy during her class while understanding the lesson given. I found it interesting to teach people in joyful ways in order to make them fall in love in learning something, especially for boring subjects like history. Although the salary is not as high as a doctor's salary, but I still believe that every career has its own fun and challenges as long as we are sincere to do so. In order to be a great teacher, I must focus on my studies, especially mathematics, as I really want to be an expert in it. Despite that, teaching my friends is one of the best ways to familiarize with teaching techniques. Reviewing any of the teaching videos in the internet or even asking my mother's tips could also help me to enhance my skill in teaching. Eventually, having an ambition could drive me to do better in life. So this candidate wrote about 220 words, so it's fine. Okay, it's 150, 200, okay, right, I accept it. Don't worry. If you it's not like UPSR, right? If you during UPSR, I know if you write more than the exceeded words, your marks will be deducted, which I totally disagree because it makes no sense. But that's what happens when you are in year 6. Form 3, we never deduct marks. We wouldn't deduct marks either in Form 5. The only problem is when you write too long, you are taking away the time for your other essay. That's all. Okay, because if you spend too much time on one essay, definitely you do not have enough time for the other part. So what's going to happen is you check. All right, do I write an essay? Yes, I did. This is an essay. Straightforward, can see it is an essay, 3 paragraphs. Okay, what audience? Definitely this is for my teacher. When my teacher reads it, the purpose is to discuss my ambition, which I did. I discussed becoming a teacher. I included all my ambition, why I wanted to be the reason is because of what happened, how I see the students idolized my mother, and then I love it, all right? And then how to fulfill is I must pay special attention to maths because I think she wants to be a maths teacher. I'm assuming it's a she, yeah? What is the appropriate register? Formal. Now, how do you know it's formal? Number 1, there is no contraction. Number 2, there is no questions. I didn't ask any questions. All right. Then I am just like writing everything in full. I did not even involve the teacher in my essay. I'm just saying it straightforward what it should be like. That's it. Okay. These are the linkers that was used because in order to as and so on, 3, and the suitable words. Chose a teacher, so students, teach, learn, expert, ability, lesson, subject, salary, fun, challenge, studies, familiar, tips, ambition. There are so many that I found here, so shows me the variety of vocab that this candidate has, right? So going back again to the 4 criteria, 5 marks. Have you fulfilled the task? Okay. Communicative achievement. There is another, just now in part 1, we are only looking at genre. We are looking at register. We are looking at tone and appropriateness. There's one more criteria we look in part 2 and part 3, which is sustains readers' attention. Why? Because the essay is longer. 125 to 150 words is longer. When it's longer, you must make sure your readers do not get bored with your essay. If it doesn't sustain because it's so boring, you get lesser marks in communicative achievement. Organization is the same. Linkers and punctuation. Language. We look at your vocab, your spelling, and your grammar, the accuracy of it. Okay. Now, when I'm marking this, this is what this candidate got. Content 5 marks because she did say that she wants to be a teacher. Why? Because she idolized her mother. Okay, and then she also said how she's going to achieve it. Right? I must focus on all the explanations. So she got 5 marks. Communicative achievement, 5 marks. I can understand what she says. Her genre is correct. Her tone is accurate. When I read this, it was interesting. So it sustains readers' attention. Okay. Organization, she has 5 because she, where have I gone? Okay, so she used S4 in order to, due to, this, in order to, although, as long as, in order to, which it's repeated twice is fine, as, okay, it's also repeated fine despite that. Okay, the one in red also, or, okay, but, and because these are the normal linkers that we used. Okay, it's not sophisticated one. Okay, but it's part 2, so it's fine, and definitely you will still need to use the normal linkers. All right. Now language, she got 5, even though she has errors. I'm always using she because whenever I see people want to be a teacher idolizing the mother, I assume it's a she. Okay, here the first part is already a mistake grammatically. The ambition, you cannot start a sentence with the ambition or the ambition is indeed a necessity. You cannot start that and it makes no sense. The candidate or this girl should have said ambition is important for every one of us because it is so much better. All right, now the means you have already indicated what ambition you want, but there is none. This is the first sentence. There's a mistake here already. Next mistake here. Although the salary is not as high, as you can see, I've underlined, all right? But because when you have although, you should not have but. Although the salary is not as high as a doctor's salary, I still believe. Or you can say the salary is not as high as a doctor's salary, but I still believe. So you either use one of these, not both of it. Even though you had little errors like that, you still get 5 because we consider this as, we call it as mistakes because you did not edit your work. We assume that after you write this, you didn't edit your work, you just handed in. So if you edited your work, you would have noticed all this. So you still get 5, right? Very different from the previous curriculum, okay, where all this would have made the language not even get 5, okay? So this is the repetition. I'm going to give you very simple, this is only 154 words. Right, over the years, I have had many ambitions, but I finally know what I want to do. I would like to be a doctor. My main reason for being a doctor is that I want to help cure patients. Once my grandfather was very ill, the doctor was not sure if he could make it. However, the doctor continued treating my grandfather. He soon recovered and is alive and well until today. I want to give the same hope to other people and their family members. So we really got there. All right, I want to be a doctor. The reason was because of what happened to the grandfather, and therefore he wants to give that same hope to other people. All right, now he's going to go into the third paragraph. It will not be easy to fulfill my ambition. I first need to do very well in my SPM, especially in maths and science. After that, I need to do well in STPM. Only then can I pursue a degree in medicine. It will take me quite a few years before I can be fully qualified doctor, but I'm willing to work hard to achieve my ambition. So this is about 154 words. Very direct, okay, do not have a lot of words, okay, so 154 is enough. I'm just like going through what's important is the last one. So if your ambition is to be a doctor, look at the words used: patience, cure, ill, treat, recover, hope, alive, pursue, degree, medicine, qualify, achieve. So these were the vocabulary used, which was good, right? Definitely everything is 5 here. The one in orange is the explanation. Why he wanted to be, the reason why he wanted to be a doctor. All right, the one in red are the vocabulary, the language, the vocab used. Okay, and then, the green one over the years and all that, these are linkers, right? So that is up to part 2. Any questions you want to ask before I go to part 3? Because part 3, that's an interesting question. Okay, this is my advice to you, because I noticed this in many pupils or students who are very good in English. You need to quit writing like you are speaking, because I've seen many great students who are very good in English. They write as though they are talking. Writing and speaking are 2 different skills, and they are 2 different, how to say, you're using 2 different, what is that, medium. One is writing. Writing is a different skill than speaking. So the wana and gona, you can only use if you're writing a narrative and you're writing a conversation, like you use quotation marks to show a dialogue between people, it's okay. But for informal email, please don't use wana, gona, kacha, gotcha, all that. I don't know what you all will use. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever it is, I want you to remember we are in Malaysia. We are in Malaysia, and there are many different and many of the person who's going to mark your essays are people who have been marking for years. When they see your wana, gona, they're gonna cut your marks. Okay, because I am very lenient about this. when I see my students, I advise them, you know, it's okay, but not to write. But I'm not going to mark the whole Malaysian students SPM script. If I'm going to mark this year for 2021, I'm not sure whether I'm going to mark, okay? But I've offered to mark because I want to see how the marking is. So I'm not going to mark for the whole country, so I cannot protect you. But I'm going to tell you, don't write that unless you are going to write for in a narrative. A narrative, it should be in part 3. If you are lucky, you get a narrative, you can do that. Okay? Alia? I love you, Alia. I know you like the Wana, Gona, Gotcha. Okay? Right, Alia? Alia is quiet. She's very upset that she cannot use the Wana and Gona now. Okay. Don't be upset, Alia. All right, I'm just going to be saying, Malaysians, we are very strict in a lot of things, okay? We have no choice. I do not know why, and it's just how it is, okay? Compared to the Mat Saleys, the white people, they are so lenient with everything. Okay, now let's look at part 3, the most important part. I got 1 hour, okay, 1 hour. I'm sorry if I'm going fast, you know, because I did this in Sandakan just a few days ago. We took 3 hours to do this. And I know you only have 2. All right. Now, question 3. You see this notice in a finance magazine. Articles wanted: ways to save money, how to save money at home, how to save money at the bank, how to save money with the help of family. Write us an article answering these 3 questions. The best article will be displayed in the finance magazine. Write your article. So this will be question 3, and then you will see question 4. You recently saw this notice. An online tech magazine, reviews on smartphones wanted. Have you recently purchased a smartphone? Kindly send us your review on the smartphone. Tell us what you like. Would you recommend to a friend why? Write your review. Then you go, question 5. Ask you to write a story for the school magazine. Alia, you love this, Alia? You must be a person who loves to write story, Alia, correct? The story must have the title, The Strange Encounter. Alia, correct?
Yes.
Alia? You like to write story?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, because I love reading a story. I love reading a novel.
See, I know. See, when you say Wana, Gona, I know already. Okay? All these kind of people, they love stories. Now, your story should include a description and write your story. So what you need to do in part 3 is that you need to decide which question you want to do. Only then you can do the steps that I've really taught you, right? So we are going to go through all 3 essays, don't worry. Okay, so just say you decided to do part 3, part 3, question 3, for example. So the formula is the same, read the instruction, read the stimulus. That one got full stop, number 1 got full stop, number 2, 3, no full stop, something wrong with me. Underline the keywords. Answer the 7 question. You already know what's tape lah, right? Write your essay. Read your essay to make sure you answer the questions. Edit if you have time. All right, let's look at part 3, question 3. Just say you have decided this is what you want to do. Okay, you see this notice in a finance magazine. Articles wanted, ways to save money, how to save money and all that. What would you underline to make sure you answer this question? Anyone, someone, no one? Sudah penat kan? Dah otak? I know your brains are tired, but you need to do this. What are the keywords? Write an article. Thank you, Noraimat. Some more?
Ways to save money.
Okay, ways to save money. Right, some more? How to save money. Thank you, Adriana.
How to save money with help of your family.
Okay, so you got home, you got bank, help of family, right? So this would be what you need to make sure. Ways to save money, how to save money at home, bank, with help of family, and you must answer. Thank you, Najla. Answer question. You have to answer all these 3 questions, and then you have to write your article. Okay, so we will start with our tapela. You are going to tell me now. Right? What is number 1? The T?
Type.
Good. Type. So what do I need to write? What type? What is it that I need to write?
An article.
Okay, you write an article. So you have written an article when you were in Form 4 and now in Form 5, didn't you? Have you? Don't know, cannot remember. Your teacher has not done article yet. Are you sure? Have you written an article from download?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Number 2, what is A?
Audience.
Good, audience. Thank you, Jessica, for your answer. Amira, for your answer. Who is my audience? Who?
Public, I guess.
Public, you guess, huh? Okay. Right, it's actually readers of a magazine, the reader of a finance magazine. Okay, not everyone will read the finance magazine, correct? So readers of a magazine, if you want to be more accurate, it would be a finance magazine. Readers of a finance magazine, because you're writing for a magazine. Number 3, what is P?
Purpose.
Good, purpose. Thank you, Amira, again. What is the purpose or reason? What is the purpose of writing this? Thank you, Sarah. Yes, thank you, whoever is answering. I don't know your name. I only reading the name from the chat box. But the one that is answering, I'm very glad you're answering. Okay, thank you, Alicia. To discuss or explain how to save money. Okay, now I is what?
Information.
Information. What information must I include?
How to save money at home, at bank, and how to save money with help of your family.
Good. So I need to tell how to save money at home, a bank, and family's help, right? Okay, number 5. What is R? Register. Right. What is the appropriate register?
Formal.
Semi-formal. Why is it semi-formal? Because when you're writing for an, thank you, Sarah. When you're writing for a magazine, you want an interaction with the reader. Okay? You want to have an interaction with the reader. You want to have a connection with the reader. So it is semi-formal. Okay? So you have now linkers. What suitable linkers? You have all the linkers, and paragraphs for this would be 5. Okay? Now I don't want you to worry too much about paragraphing, but usually it's 5 paragraphs. You must make sure you have paragraphs. That's all. You don't write in one whole paragraph or everything. That will make you lose marks in your communicative achievement. Just make sure you have paragraph, but I'm helping you by saying at least 5. If you finish in 4 also, it's fine with the examiners because you have paragraphing. Okay, and the linkers will help us see your flow of ideas. But the most appropriate will be 5. Why 5? You have introduction, the 3 points there, and then your conclusion. That is why it's 5. Okay, if they have 4 points here, then it would be 6. You get what I mean? Introduction, 4 points, conclusion. You must always remember part 3, your introduction and your conclusion, very, very important. Okay. And then what suitable words? It depends on how you have decided to save money. Okay. Now this is definitely by a girl named Maisara. Okay. So she has written there ways to save money. For an article, you need to have your title. Now written by Maisara, I see that some of like download, they don't show this like written by. You want to put it, it's fine. You don't put it, it's fine. It doesn't matter. As long as it looks like an article, ways to save money, written by Maisara or by Maisara, is also fine. Okay? Jessica, we will come to it, Jessica. There are 2 more questions to go, right, Jessica? I'll tell you what other semi-formal register you can use, okay? All right. Yes, Alia, that is why it's called semi-formal. Let's look at this and then we will go and look at features of semi-formal. Okay, Alia and Jessica? Thank you for your questions. Very good questions. All right. Money is a medium of exchange that you use daily to pay bills or groceries or buy necessities. Earning money requires okay. All right. Thank you, Siti Rokia, for your. Are you teacher or student? I don't know who you all are. Cikgu ke murid? Siti Rokia.
Rukaya is a student.
Okay.
Rukaya.
All right. You're talking about Siti Rokia. You're talking about review or what?
Any essay-based format like articles or formulator.
All right. Now, I want, if you have your download book, okay, that many of you, many of you don't realize this, okay, your download book is so full of resources that you don't realize. I want you to look at page 180 and above, 180 to 186, if you have your download textbook with you. You have the topic writing bank. The writing bank tells you like informal letter or email what you should write. Formal letter and email what you should write. If it's an article, if you look at the article page 182, you have title. They don't have by whom and all that. That is why I've been saying to you that by this one is not really important, but if you want to put it, fine, because I know you have seen in a magazine how it looks like. So you want to put ways to save money, which is the title, and then you want to put by somebody's name, like just now, Encik Jared Yong too, he's a very famous teacher, all right? Yeah, he's everywhere. Unlike me, I don't publish myself anywhere, all right? Unless people know me, they invite me, all right? So if you want to write, you write. By whom, okay? Are you all having your download book with you? I don't know if you're having it. If you have it in front of you, it's good. If it's somewhere in your room, just grab it. 182 tells you about article. And then in essay, page 183, how an essay looks like. Paragraph 1, and then you have all the linkers there to tell you what you should write. So if you look at this and study this, you will score in your paper actually. That is why my title is, how to write using language strategies. Are you having your textbook in front of you? I don't know if you are.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
So have you all realized there was a writing bank at the back? No. Good. Right. So it looks like you have not really looked into your textbook. There's a writing bank at the back, which is for me so good for all of you to refer to. Okay. If you feel your school is asking you back for the download book, go and photostat that page. Keep it. All right. There's a lot of grammar notes before that. Also very important that you can have and keep it for a copy for yourself. Okay. This is the beauty of having overseas book, right? Because I can guarantee you Malaysian textbook will not be as comprehensive as this because we do not have the experts in writing yet. Soon we will have, okay? All right, let's come back to this. Money is a money is a medium of exchange that you use daily to pay bills, groceries, or buy necessity. Earning money requires hard work, but some people don't use it wisely. There's a lot of ways to save money since it is important in the future. We can start by saving money at home. Firstly, make sure that you make a shopping list, all right? This could prevent them from buying things other than what you have listed. Secondly, plan your meal properly so you will not waste food and money, right? Another option is to save money is saving money in the bank. Different banks have different percent of return. So we should compare the rate of return at the bank and find the highest rate. In this way, we could increase our money to use when needed. We could also ask help from our family to help us save money, one of the best ways is by asking them to hold our money so that we don't spend a lot of money on unnecessary things. We could only ask them for our money when necessary. Saving money is important to one as we are living in modern times. The price market keeps increasing from time to time. We should start saving money starting from now because we can't predict what is going to happen in the future. Now, I know if you look at this essay, you will say, wow, such a good essay, right? Is that what you all think? Nobody's answering. What do you think about the essay?
It's kind of hard.
Kind of hard, meaning what?
I mean, sometimes when we want to elaborate our ideas, maybe at some point we are really stuck and we don't know how to elaborate more.
Yeah. But what do you think about this essay written by Maisara?
Maybe it's too not organized.
Okay. Which part is not organized? Sunny silent. This is an example of peer feedback, all right? Meaning getting feedback from friends. If in the classroom, this is what I do in my own pupils. I ask them, what do you think? And they all get stuck like you, right? What do you think about her explanation? Is it clear to you? It lacks linkers, Jessica said.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
It's
Okay,
like
what do you mean it lacks linkers, Jessica? When I ask you more questions, you all go silent, wondering why. Is it hard to explain? Or you don't know what to say? Anybody wants to try? No, scared to say. Don't worry, Maisara doesn't know. I don't know who Maisara is either. Okay, and she's definitely not in this group.
For me, it looks alright, and I think it is okay.
Okay. Okay, right. Now, she definitely, she wrote an article, yes. Okay, the audience is a reader of a magazine, okay. The linkers used considered common for part 3. Exactly, it's very, very common because you saw the one that I've put it in red, right? Thank you, Rokia. Okay, and then what is the purpose? The purpose is to explain, which she did explain, but something is wrong with the explanation, which I will go in detail in a while. But when you see this, you say, oh, she explained how to save money at home, at the bank, and all that, right? She did say that, and she has given all these 3 points, which is there. She used a semi-formal, which is fine, but it actually looks more like formal than semi-formal to me. Okay, it is more formal than semi-formal. Don't you agree? Because it is like an essay, correct? Okay. Now, what suitable linkers? These are the linkers that she used, and but, so that, all right, as, because, another. Tengok aku ni comma pun hilang. What has happened? Firstly, secondly, all right. And then the suitable word, it depends on what she has decided. It's too long for me to write. There's not enough space for me to put everything in there because you can see I don't have enough space. All right. Let's the criteria, all right? These are the criteria. I'm repeating this so that you remember content, communicative achievement, okay, organization, and language. Now, let's look at her essay. What did I give her? Okay, content, she got 5 marks because she did say how to save money. She said about saving money at home, talking about saving money in the bank, and asking a family member to help. She has all that. I could understand all that. However, why did I give her communicative achievement 3 marks? Let's look, all right, at how she's explaining. When I'm reading this, we can start by saving money at home. First, make sure that you make a shopping list. I understand that. This could prevent you from buying things that you have listed. Secondly, plan your meal properly so you will not waste food and money. Now, how is this second connected to the first one that I don't see the connection from make a shopping list could prevent meals so that you would not waste food and money. Now, if you're talking about saving money, all right, at home, your ideas should be linking from one another. You ask to make a shopping list so that, and then plan your meal. So when you plan your meal, are you talking about shopping list also so that you will not waste food and money? So I am not sure how the connection is here. Second, all right, look at her say talking about money in the bank. Different bank offer a different percent of return. I don't understand what is percent of return. Talking about rate, interest rate, and then here rate of return. Here percent of return, here is rate. So we could compare the rate of return at a different bank and find the highest rate. And then in this way, we could increase our money. How do you increase your money by the percent of return or rate of return? So this is where I do not, her communicative achievement, she wasn't able to achieve appropriateness, okay, of the language. It's not there because I don't understand what she's trying to tell me. And then here another one is that this one is fine, okay? But look at the last one, the last paragraph of conclusion. It's important as we are living in modern times. The price market keeps increasing from time to time. What has price market now to do with saving money? I understand. You see, the thing is, as teachers, we know what you're trying to say, but we cannot make the meaning for you. You need to make sure when you are writing, you make your meaning come true. Okay, because not everyone who's going to be a reader of the finance magazine are teachers who will make sense of what you're writing. Okay, so we should start saving money starting from now. Okay, that one is fine, but that's why she got 3, because in each of her paragraph, she wasn't able to communicate what she wanted to say effectively. Right? Organization, and also don't forget, her genre is an article, okay, but her tone was so formal because she's writing like an essay. Organization, right, because Rokia says she's using very basic, all right, linkers, very common. She didn't use better ones like here got this in this way, one of the best ways, very limited. She used more of the part 1, part 2 kind of linkers, all right. Her language is also 4, right? Look, money is a medium of exchange that you can use daily to pay bills or groceries, or one sentence, 2 or, right? She should have just put a comma there and then have the or here, okay? All right. So even though it does, she didn't get full marks, but she didn't do that bad. Okay, so she got 15 out of 20, which is not that bad. Okay, any questions about this before we move on? This is a sample. There's something wrong with this sample. There is no title. No title is bad. You should have a title. All right, ways to save money. Now, for just now, one of you who said that it's difficult, I'm going to show you how simple it is actually to write this essay. Right, it is good to start saving from a young age because you are talking about ways to save money, right? You can use the money you saved to buy gifts for your loved one, buy nice things for yourself, or you can use the money for your future. You can start saving at home by getting a money box. Simple, right? Very simple, straightforward. Get a money box. However, since the money is easily accessible, you must make it harder to get the money. Therefore, you should get a money box that has lock combinations or that has no openings and must be broken in order to open it. You should open a saving accounts in a bank if you want your money to be saved. It is better not to get an ATM card, as it will then be easier for you to take out your savings. So this candidate says save money in a bank, and to make it harder, don't get an ATM card. If you want to save money for specific short-term goals, you could ask a trusted family member to hold your money. See the keywords like trusted, very good words, vocab. Tell them the amount that you would like to save, for example, 200 ringgit. Once you have saved the amount with them, they can give you the money. However, if you have not reached your goal, they should not give you the money. Meaning if you don't have the 200, they cannot give you the money even though you ask. So the few ways you could save is through a money box, which he has mentioned here. He's reinforcing the idea. Saving accounts here, or asking a family member to hold your money. Saving money is a good habit and everyone should practice it. Very simple, straightforward, easy to understand. Correct? Okay? All right, let's look at question 4. Just now question 3, no question. Let's go to question 4. You saw this. Okay, so step 1 and 2, you read the question. You recently saw this online in an online tech magazine. Then this is the stimulus reviews on smartphone. What would you underline now? What would you underline?
Smartphone.
Yes, right. Some more. Thank you, Nur Nisrina. Some more. Thank you, Sharin Chu Yankee. Okay. Why you like? Thank you, Adriana.
You should recommend the smartphone to your friend and people listen.
Okay, very good. So this would be what you should underline if you want to answer this question. Reviews on smartphones, recently purchased smartphone, send review, why, like using, would you recommend, friend, why. Now when you listen to what I'm saying, you feel it's so easy. But when you write, because when I discuss this, people say, oh, very easy. And then when they write, you will realize that you miss some of the things, even if you use Kapirla. All right, so you must be very, very alert, okay? So, what is T? I'm making you all remember, so that it goes into your head forever. Right, good. What do I need to write? The type. What's the type? A review, good. Number 2, A.
Audience.
Right. Who is your audience for this? Yeah, friend. No, it's not your friend. Your friend is not reading this. Tengok sudah ada salah. Who is the audience? The audience would be the readers of an online magazine. Just now, earlier one for the, right, for the, just now what we did? We did the, what was it? See, I just did question 4. What we did question 4? What was it?
Finance magazine.
Yes, but what was the essay? Oh God, what was the essay? Article, sorry. When the article was for a magazine, which is the hard copy magazine. This is an online magazine. Right, so readers of an online magazine. So an online magazine readers, the audience is a little bit different than the one that is in the finance magazine, right? Now, what is the purpose? Reason. The purpose, P. Purpose? When you are writing a review, what is your purpose again?
To recommend.
To recommend. Your purpose is to give opinion and feedback. Now, when you are doing a review, your review is to give your opinion and feedback. You must remember that. What's a review? If you do a review on a movie, you are giving your opinion and feedback on a movie that you watch. That is what a review is. Okay? So this time you are going to give your opinion and feedback on a smartphone. Okay? And then what information? Information must you include? What information must you put in your review? Why you like? Thank you, Putri. Putri bukan keluarga diraja, ya. Just Putri for the sake of name Putri, right? No, Dahlia? Any more? Ah, yes, okay. Only that. Why you like? Okay, so you need to have the brand of smartphone I bought, why I like using it, and if I would recommend to a friend and why. Okay, what is the appropriate register? When you're writing a review, what would be the register be for it? Yes, thank you, Noraima. It is semi-formal. Again, you want to have an interaction with your audience, whoever is reading. Just now, the earlier one that Maisara wrote, Maisara didn't have an interaction with the audience. Even the sample essay that I show you also have no interaction with the audience. I'm going to show you how you can have interaction with your audience. That means if you are writing for a magazine. Okay, linkers, this would be linkers again, the same thing, 5. And the words will be anything to do with smartphone. Stylish, up to date. I think you know better than me because you're all the generation of all these mobile phones. Gigabytes, megapixel, storage, apps, internet, Wi-Fi, connectivity. Because when I was young, okay, I remember somebody having like a brick phone carried at the side of their, usually men, at the side of their pants, and then they will be having something that they will talk, and I was thinking, what is going on? Why is this man having like a big fat thing beside his waist and talking to somebody I don't know where? And it was something very extraordinary for my generation when we saw people like that. Wow, this man must be rich. He can speak with anyone, anywhere. Right? And the phone has become smaller and smaller and smaller, okay? And slimmer. And everyone seems to be having it now, okay? Okay, I missed that time when nobody can reach you. Okay, now this is an example of an essay, okay? Now, no title. Review should have a title, right? You should have your title for your review because you're writing a review about something. Okay, this is an example for Alia. Alia was asking, is it Alia who was asking about Wana, Gocha, Gona, right? Okay. This is an example where you are writing as though you are speaking. Smartphones are such an important thing, especially during this new globalization era. If you guys, this is where you cannot write like this in, can you write like this in a magazine? If you guys are addicted to virtual activities, all right, you don't have to have that. If you are addicted to virtual activities, you must have at least one smartphone on your own for use, for sure. For your information, I just bought a new smartphone 2 days ago and the result is spectacular. First thing first. This was also very, very spoken. First thing first. Yes, endless features and application. If you Google first thing first, they will write there spoken, right? The 5MP camera and video recording feature helps me to capture not only pictures, but also precious moments. Not only that, but all the pictures and videos that have been taken are very high quality and not blurry. This is very important for me as I love taking photos. Furthermore, the smartphone has 16 megabyte internal memory. I can extend the memory by adding a 32 gigabyte micro SD HD memory card. This helps me a lot because I can install various interesting applications in the smartphone such as Instagram and Twitter, and also the documents for assignment without having to worry about the storage. In addition, this smartphone provides 5G line service, which makes it very fast and does not take long for loading time. This is important, especially in this pandemic season as everyone works and learns online. Thus, with a fast line, I can get the information quickly as I don't have to wait longer and compete with the crow. Wondering what is that? I explain to you later. All in all, I would recommend this smartphone to all kinds of people, especially others who love virtual activities and active media social users. This smartphone really can help you a lot during this pandemic and new norm situation. 254 words, fine. Okay, anybody wants to tell me what they think of this essay, your opinion? Anyone? You think it's a good essay? Everything was fulfilled, suitable for an online magazine. All of you need to learn how, informative thing. You all need to learn to give feedback. And I like to say this, all of you love to give only good feedback. You need to also learn how to give constructive feedback. Constructive feedback means you find something not right, you give feedback on that and say how it can be improved. Just fine. Yeah, you all need to, because in our culture, it's not nice to say when it's not good. I know that. But when you want to learn how to give feedback, you need to learn how to give constructive feedback. Okay? Something you all need to learn, because when you go to university, I'm sure all of you would, okay, lecturers love to hear your constructive feedback. They don't like to hear everything is good, everything is fine, and then they say, what have you learned in school? Okay, let's look at Tapela. Right, did this candidate write an article, a review? Yes, correct. He reviewed a phone, correct? Agreed, right? So he did that. The audience is a reader of Line magazine. Yes, definitely. The tone is there, you can know. Purpose is to give opinion and feedback on the smartphone. Did he or she did that? Give opinion and feedback on a smartphone?
Yes.
Yes, okay. The information, did he include all the information that is required in the question? Which was the brand of the smartphone I bought. Did he tell you the brand?
No.
No. So if he writes a review and I'm interested, I do not know what smartphone is this. I will not be able to buy. But he did say why I like to use it. But he didn't say he would recommend to a friend or not. He said that I would recommend to all kind of people. He didn't say whether he would recommend to a friend. That is why I'm saying that when you look at the question, oh, this is so easy. But when you write your answer, like this candidate has given that question, wrote the answer, didn't fulfill, okay, the requirement of the information needed. All right. The register is semi-formal, fine. Okay, these were all his linkers that he used, and he had 5 paragraphs, which was good. Okay, and the words, are the words he used. Okay, all the jargon and vocab suitable for mobile phones and smartphones. All right, so he has that, so it's not an issue. Right, so I'm repeating content. Whether he fulfilled the task. You tell me now, did he fulfill the task for 5 marks?
No.
No, because he didn't write, right? The tone, the register, did he use the correct tone for writing for a review?
Yes.
Yes, but he said, you guys, can you use that you guys?
No.
Cannot use, because that becomes informal. Okay, it becomes very informal and it's also not suitable to write that way. Okay, so he got 3 marks because he didn't say that he would recommend to a friend. He said he recommend to all kind of people, but he didn't say that I would recommend to my friends and also to all kinds of people who are whatever. Okay, he can say that I would recommend to all kinds of people, but not to my friends, because that would have been good either. Because he used a lot of spoken kind of language in his written work, he didn't get full 5 marks. He got only 3 marks. Okay, and he also for other reasons, when you're reading it, I don't know, when I was reading it, I give 3 marks. Maybe I was too harsh, I don't know. Organization, he got fantastic linkers. Furthermore, in addition, thus, all in all. So these are very good, and he has a lot of N and S and or whatever, but it's fine. So his organization, he got 5. Language, he got 3, because like here, for example, okay, what documents are you referring to? That is why it's underlined. What assignment are you for assignment without having? So, you know, also documents for school assignment, what assignment, all right? This is very important to me as I love taking photos. Okay, now, the first sentence itself tells me you have problems with vocab. Smartphones are such an important gadget, device. What are the other words that you can use besides gadget or device? I think that are the two most important vocab you can use for thing. When you use the word thing, it tells me that you don't have the vocab. All right. Now have been taken off high. Well, don't forget, I'm very strict here because this is part 3. For you to get all 5 means you are a C1 learner. You know what C1 level, right? Meaning you are same level as your teachers. Okay. So all this doesn't show that you are a C1, so you wouldn't get, and does not take long to load. All right, now here it's not crow. The child, I asked what was wrong with this. I thought it was a new idiom, compete with the crow. I go and look everywhere. Is there something that I was missing? It looks like the child or the candidate forget the D, compete with the crowd. Okay, see? You make me go research. I say, this is a new idiom that I've never done. I don't have to wait long. It's not longer. It looks so simple, but this kind of words tell me that you are not able to know when to use long, when to use longer. Okay, and then don't active social media users. Don't think in Malay and write in English. This is what happens. Okay, because I know that some sentences here are taught in Malay and written in English. Therefore, there was problems with the language. All right. Okay. This is another one by another student. Okay. Review on Samsung Galaxy A20. Now I know what phone he's reviewing. Are you looking for a slick smartphone? This is what I'm talking about, having interaction with your reader. For a semi-formal, this is good. Are you looking for a slick smartphone? Because when you're reading a magazine, you see this, you say that, oh yes, I'm looking. You are talking to yourself. Even though you're talking to yourself, you're interacting with the text. If so, I encourage you to check out the latest model by the well-known smartphone brand Samsung. So this is very, very good. There is interaction with me, okay, as the reader. Their Samsung Galaxy A20 has been on the market for just a week, but already manages to catch the eyes of the public with its sophisticated design. One of its eye-catching features is the slim size that contributes to a lighter weight. This 150-gram smartphone is very convenient for those who like to travel light. Its screen also has a wide area which you can enjoy watching videos on. Samsung Galaxy A20 also has 32 GB of storage and long-lasting battery. It also comes with a high-resolution camera for both front and back cameras. If you love to take pictures when going out using your phone, Samsung Galaxy A20 is totally for you. A few flaws, which is good. You give feedback doesn't mean you write only the good things. Remember when I asked you to give feedback on your friend's essay? You also can tell what is not good about it. So a few flaws of this idle smartphone is that it comes with a limited choice of color, as only black is available. The screen is also easily scratched. On top of that, this model is overpriced. Overall, Samsung Galaxy A20 is a great choice if you are not picky with colors and glad to pay a high price for a smartphone. Okay, so this is about 202 words. Okay, so when you look at this, you'll be like, wow, this is such a good essay, right? But let's look at this, okay? This candidate wrote a review. Definitely a very good piece for online magazine. There's interaction. That is very semi-formal. Asking questions like that, it's very semi-formal. All right? Okay, and then there's a lot of interaction if you are not picky, you know. So these are example of semi-formal. I hope that helps. I think Jessica, who was asking, or someone else who was asking earlier, how to write a formal, the difference. No, somebody else. Rokia, is it? I don't know, I can't remember, but one of you, either Jessica or Rokia, one of you were asking. Okay, to give feedback, opinion on a smartphone, definitely. Now, there is a problem about the information, because when you look at this, you'll be amazed. But he just told us, if you are looking, I encourage you to get this phone. He didn't say whether he bought the phone or not. That's one. He didn't say that I bought it and I found it. He didn't say, because if you need to give a review, you need to have bought it, because don't forget the question asked, have you recently purchased a smartphone, correct? So you need to ensure that you fulfill that task. If you have recently purchased, they didn't say that, review on a smartphone that is recently in the market, then this would be fine. He also didn't say whether he would recommend to a friend. He just say, if you are not picky with colors and you are glad to pay a high price, you are fine with it. He didn't say that. So there are 2 points missing in this great essay, okay? Definitely semi-formal. These were his linkers, which were not, many, all right, that he has. And these were the words that he used, which was quite good, all right? Okay, so I gave content 2 marks, worse than the other one. You're wondering why that one 3, this one 2. Great essay, but he didn't say whether he bought it or not. It can go to 3, okay? I don't know what happened when I'm marking. All right, but communicative achievement, he got 5. So even though you miss some parts of your points, but you're good in writing, you can get 5. Organization 4, because I'm looking, he used a lot of, if you look at the red one, also. So he got 4. There's other words he can use. Language, he got 5 because of the vocabulary, his punctuation, and so on. Okay. Now the reason I underlined Dia, I'm talking about who is Dia. He should have just said the Samsung Galaxy instead of Dia. All right. For both the front and back. Okay. When going out using your phone. When you are going out, I find this very colloquial, meaning spoken language. All right. So that's that. As you can see, when it comes to part 3, the marking is very strict, right? Even though the marks are the same, 20. So this is a sample. Again, there should be a title, right? After doing my research, I discovered the best smartphone for me is the MB7 smartphone. And so I recently got my parents to buy it for me. So can you see, you are saying that you recently got a new phone. And you are explaining that although the MB7 smartphone is a bit costly, it is worth the price. It's very sturdy. And he explained why he said it's sturdy. I dropped my phone a few times, but it still worked fine. There were also hardly any scratches on the screen. Another reason is because the battery lasts a long time. It can last for more than 24 hours. Furthermore, it does not take long to charge. The MB7 smartphone has high memory capacity and a fast processor. This is useful as I sometimes have to take a lot of photos for my school projects. The fast processor helps me to do my school projects easily, especially when you want to get information. I'm glad I got the MB7 smartphone because it is durable, has good battery life and high memory capacity and a fast processor. The smartphone is very useful for teenagers and I would recommend it to my friends. Now, can you see that he explained that he just purchased and he recommended to his friends because it's useful for teenagers. He explained everything and his conclusion, he again re-emphasized what his 3 points were. Short and simple, right? But it covers everything. Any questions before we go to the last one, which I have 15 minutes? Any more? No.
No.
Okay. Now, you going to write story. Alia? Alia, I'm coming to you, Alia. Your favorite. I'm sure there are many of you love to write stories, but a word of precaution. I'm going to show you a story and then I'm going to ask you a question. This story is written by a student like you, okay? The story must have this title, so the keywords would be this. Your teacher asks you to write a story, school magazine, and this is what you must have, the strange encounter. It should include a description and how the person felt. Okay? Right. So what must you write? Type. Don't know what type to write. What's the type of essay?
Story.
Okay, it's a story. Who is the audience? Now this is a tricky question. Who's the audience?
Reader of school magazine.
Reader of school magazine.
Yes, correct. So it will be this. You are right. Reader of a school magazine is the school community. It can be parents who bought the school magazine, or your peers, your juniors, the teachers, the administrators. If the school canteen cleaners all can read, then they will be reading. But it's school community. Okay. All right. But you are right. Readers of the school magazine. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of writing this story or narrative? Alia will say, because I love to write it. That's not the purpose, huh? The purpose is to narrate or to tell the story of a strange encounter, okay? Now, what information must I include?
The description of the encounter.
Don't forget, the story must have the title. So you must have the title, the description, and how the character felt, okay, about it. Right, what is the appropriate register, huh? It would be informal using story genre, okay? Suitable linkers would be like one day, one afternoon, last week, and however, therefore, then, okay, however, I don't know why twice, furthermore, hence, because, okay, and then suitable words, depending on the story, you got like surprised, shocked, elated, weird, strange, scared, petrified, annoyed, silent, empty. I don't know why I have that empty, but maybe strange encounter, empty room, empty house. Okay, now this is 2 slides, by somebody, by written by someone like your age. A strange encounter. It was a chilly, windy night in Southern Virginia. The stars were mesmerizing as usual, brightening up the night sky and giving a sense of calmness. Mike was not having a very good day, so he decided to drive far away from his home to distance himself from his problems. He wanted to just sit in his convertible by a cliffside and gaze into the night sky. As he arrived at the cliffside, he turned off his engine and started playing sad music on his phone. He then stared into the beautiful abyss to calm himself down after having a very rough day. The morning prior, he was fired by his boss for coming to work late for the 5th time that month. To make matters worse, when he came back home, his beloved cat went missing. Not only that he lost his job, he also lost his only companion at home. He was very lonely. He started having a mental breakdown as soon as his favorite song was playing in the background. He was shedding tears uncontrollably for an entire hour. He kept asking himself whether he should move on with his life or just end it all for good. He knew he was a failure and a disappointment. He realized that ending it all will only benefit himself but not others. He then remembered that his mom once told him that suicide will not solve any problem, but instead cause even more problems. He continued crying while admiring Mother Nature's beauty. Out of nowhere, a man approached his vehicle and said to him with a very soothing tone, "Look, man, I know that you got laid off and everything, but I beg you to not kill yourself." Mike, who didn't realize at that time there was a man outside his car, replied, "I know, but I feel like I have no other options." He thought the voices were coming from his head because his eyes were shut. When he opened his eyes, he was spooked and almost had a heart attack when he saw the man. Mike immediately asked the man who he was and what were his intentions ahead as he inspected the man's figure. The facial features were identical to each other. The mysterious man replied, "I am you from the future." Mike was shocked. He couldn't believe that what his eyes were seeing. Mike then asked his future self to sit with him in the car to have a little talk. Mike even checked the tattoo on his left arm, and sure enough, it looked exactly the same. Mike became more calm knowing that he's not by himself and was able to share his problems with somebody else. But the catch is that somebody else was himself. His future self gave a pat on his shoulder and said, suicide is not the way to go. Look at me now. I am married. I have 3 children. I'm more successful than ever. If you have killed yourself, you wouldn't be able to experience the sweet and bright side of life. Everybody loves you and everybody will miss you. Trust me, it is not worth it. Mike nodded and cried again. As time went by, Mike was sharing more and more of his problems with his future self. He asked for advice on how to deal with this kind of problem. He also asked his future self what he had done at that exact moment of his life. He said, I did the same as you. I came to this same exact spot and looked into the same direction. But instead of contemplating suicide, I just learned to accept every bad thing that happened to me. Life can be brutal sometimes. It's just the way it is, and there's no way around it. Mike listened carefully. They proceeded to talk for about 2-3 hours. When future Mike was done motivating his past self, he said one last thing to Mike, and that is to always share his problems to somebody that he trusts the most if it is a little too serious to handle on his own. They both step out of the car and hug each other tightly, knowing they will never see each other again. Emotions were getting into both of them. His future self walked away from him while they waved goodbye to each other. They both wiped their tears simultaneously, which clearly meant they had some sort of telepathic connection between each other. Mike went back to his car and decided to drive back home. His encounter with his future self was definitely something way out of the norm, but it was much needed for him. This is because no one knew him better than himself. He needed somebody to talk to more than he's ever needed in his life. Thankfully, he was greeted by somebody who was very helpful and understanding. He came back home to a letter on his doorstep written by his future self. He looked into the night sky and smiled. Nice story, right?
Yes.
Yes. My question is, can you write this in 45 minutes?
Probably no.
Yes, probably no. That is why if you love to write stories, you need to make sure you write everything in 45 minutes, because I can guarantee you would not able to be writing this in 45 minutes under the pressure of an exam. Okay, all right. So again, the content 5 marks, all this would be 5 marks. All right, I gave her 4 for organization, 4 for language. The reason is because if you look at this, she has done this mistake of but because instead twice. That shows me is an error. Mistake means what? The first time it happened, it won't happen again, meaning that you know it is wrong. But when you write it more than once, that means you do not know that it is a mistake. You cannot put but instead. You just put instead of contemplating suicide. All right? And then here also instead cause even more problems. All right? And he used a lot of and, while, because. These are all very common linkers. Okay? Right? And this sentence here for language. You see, the more you write, the more we can see your mistake. If you have written a short one, if she or this candidate has written a short one, would have got all 5. But because when you write more, we can see what you can and cannot do. So yeah, fabulous. Here suddenly look at this sentence here. Such a long sentence, which could have been broken up into at least 2 sentences. When future Mike was done, he said one last thing to Mike, full stop. Always share his problems to somebody. He said he advised to always share problems to somebody that he trusts the most. If it's a little too serious to handle on his own. Okay, this is too long because the word using and to continue his idea or her idea. All right, okay. Now, so that's why got 4. So I know got 18 for you lah, 18 pun jadilah. But you want to get good marks, try to make sure you get all 5. Okay. Now this is very simple. Thank God it's a daytime, because I remember giving this course the first time it was night. You're going to be 11 when I told this story. Okay, Encik Ramli had worked as a taxi driver for many years. Along the way, he has many strange encounters, but only one encounter left him shaken. Something is wrong with this essay. There's no topic. I should have a topic up there. All right, the title. One night after sending a customer home, he drove past a lonely stretch of road. It was after midnight and he did not expect to see anyone at the roadside. Encik Ramli passed by a bus stop. To his surprise, he saw a young woman waiting there. The woman flagged his taxi. He wondered why the woman was waiting there at such a late hour. The woman was well dressed and was wearing a strong smelling perfume. The woman thanked him for stopping and giving her a ride. She said she had been waiting there a long time. Encik Ramli advised her not to be out in such a lonely area. The woman gave him directions to her destination. Encik Ramli drove the woman to another lonely area. There were no houses there. He could only see a cemetery. Encik Ramli began to feel uneasy. The woman asked him to stop right in front of the cemetery. He did as he was told. The woman gave him his fare with goodbye and left. What is that? Encik Ramli quickly drove back home. The night he slept badly. He dreamt strange, unsettling dreams. The next morning when he woke up, he checked the money given by the woman. It was dried leaves. He quickly threw the leaves away. Okay, so all of you better don't go out at night and see all this kind. Okay, so short and simple. This you can write in 45 minutes, right? Okay, it's a strange encounter. You told the story. It's a very common story anyway. Okay, so one question you want to ask before I end is already 10:30, right? 10:30. Any question you want to ask, you ask. No question to ask. Everybody want a break.
No question.
Dr. Ilham, I think I want to ask one question.
Yeah, sure. Fine, ask.
I keep reviewing this question, especially in review writing.
Yeah.
The student will ask if let's say they create like for a book review or movie review, they come up with their own movie, which is not even exist. Is it will affect their marks?
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. They can write about anything they want. It doesn't have to be something that is true.
Yeah, even for the smartphone, right? Even
Yes.
though it's not exist in the market.
Correct, like MB7, that one was it's not there, because we are not looking at facts. We are looking at whether they are able to share their ideas, they are able to write, we're able to communicate what they are thinking in their head, because that's what we are looking at. We are not a subject like a content subject like maths or science where it is facts, concrete facts. We are not. So as far as I know, we are not checking whether the information given is accurate. We are looking at whether they are able to share what they want to tell us.
Thank you.
Why some people say must be only the real one, is it?
Yeah, because they thought that if it's a movie review, it must be a real movie.
Yeah.
Perhaps some students, they are very honest.
Yeah. What I mean is like, okay, usually I'm sure when it's movie review, every one of them will review something they would have watched, right? Because if you review something that you have not, it's like you made up, then you'll be making up the stories which will take more of your brain cells, right? Like, what do I need to tell about the story, right? But a phone, you don't know the name of an exact phone, it's fine. Even if you write a movie review based on some other title, but it's based on a different story, it's also fine. It doesn't matter. We just want to see whether you're able to communicate. Okay? Alright, any questions? Itu cikgu yang tanya, murid? Tak ada. Which one, Alice? Is it a good essay? Which one? The one you mean the story? You mean the two? Oh, it is good, but what I'm talking about, it's good. But what I'm talking about is you wouldn't have time to write that long for 45 minutes. Alice like to write story also, Nur Alice. All of you love story. Mana tahu tahun ni tak ada story, because it can be a review, it can be an article, and it can be a report. Then what are you gonna do? Alice? You all love story, Yalah, mana tahu you all sebab COVID, they'll give you one story. They put one story there, you write a story. Okay. Okay, all right. She's so happy. Why? Okay, any 2 new ideas you would share? Could you format for a report? Oh, format for a report. You look your download book. In your download textbook, you have the format of the report, right? I want everyone to understand this. Because you're all not used to this. When you do your BM, when you do your sejarah, when you do your geography, okay? Why, Zainab, you feel that the download is not quite complete? Is Zainab a teacher? Is Zainab a teacher? Betul ke? Cikgu Zainab ke murid Zainab? Okay, I know. All right. Cikgu Zainab, you have been teaching Form 5 for many, many years, correct? Cikgu Zainab? Correct? Many, many years? Cikgu Zainab? Tak dengar. Have you been teaching for many, many years, Cikgu Zainab? Because I need to know that. Then I will understand. Then only you make me understand your question.
Okay, it seems that for report, there should be 2 from, right? Usually it's like that.
Okay, that is the KBSM.
Yes.
Now the KBSM is very strict about format because they have special marks for format.
Yes,
but for CFR aligned curriculum, okay, the format is part of the communicative achievement, and basically what they need is just the title of the report and then their paragraphs. That's it.
Oh, we don't have to put from, title, dates.
No, that is why I'm saying that for the CFR aligned curriculum, the pupils or the students, they are very lucky because we are just looking at how they can communicate. The format doesn't take a lot of things, and just following the download book is enough. Just like I was about to explain to the students, it is unlike any other subjects. English has been done in a way that what you learn in the classroom is what you need to do again in your exam. Basically, it just go parallel. You learn in the classroom, your textbook, you just concentrate on your textbook, you just use that same thing in your exam, you are fine.
So the same goes for formal letter, right?
Yes. No more formal letter. There is no more formal letter that they're going to ask anymore because everything would be like an email. Formal email, it'd be like if it's formal email, the formal letter will be there. But I doubt there would be formal letter that they will ask because the first part will be an email.
Okay, how about informal letter? Do you have to put the address, informal letter?
Nobody writes letter anymore.
Because there are tasks in the workbooks, you're supposed to write email or informal letter. That's what I can't remember. Yes, right.
It has, but the thing is, they are all now looking at what these pupils will do in real life now. So in informal letter, you do have that on page 180, right?
Yes,
so 180. Informal letter, email. They are basically just looking at that. That is why I'm saying formal letter would not appear. Formal email, yes.
Because in page 181, there is also
I understand
formal letter, right?
Right, correct.
There's a bit of confusion there.
Yes, I understand what you say, but your letter starts and ends appropriately, right? But if you look at the questions that I've shown so far, the first part will be an email, second part will be just essay, and then the third part will be these 4 out of 4, they ask 3, right?
So for report writing, you just write the title, is it? The title of the report.
Yes, correct. If you look at the sample essay that you have done as examiners, remember? Even there, they only have the title, remember?
Okay. The title, and then they have the subtopics.
Yeah, now in the download book now have the subtopics,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But there are some
Okay.
people who will just write in paragraphs. So far there is no so far Lembaga has not said anything about that. That's why I said we will only know when we start marking first time. Then we will have to adjust. I have to adjust the way I give my seminar, because right now what I'm giving is based on the training that I've got as a
So it's okay if they are to write the report without the subtopics, or
I would always advise follow the download book.
Yes, okay, tolong. So you have to follow and put the subtopics. Okay.
Yes,
Advisable to follow.
Follow the
Okay.
download book, because the essay written for our sample was done by student of KBSM, not by KSSM student. Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Alia, no, don't write. Okay, wait. Sorry, I'm saying, okay, I hope Cikgu Zainab, right? I had explained to you.
Yes, yes.
Yes, because it's difficult for teachers who have been marking for years to change that kind of mindset. I can understand.
Yes.
Right? Yes, it was last time very strict to format.
Yeah,
Format
very
orang hantu, kan? Right. We are now a proficiency paper, so they're looking at proficiency more than format.
Okay, thank
Okay,
God.
yeah, so I said pupils don't have to worry, just like PT3. We were looking at what they can do, not what they cannot do. All right? Okay, now Ong Jin Rao, may I ask if teacher were able to write a cliffhanger while we are writing a story? It's not all people who write. It depends. I cannot tell you whether you should write a cliffhanger, because it all depends on what the story is about. Right? So if you say a strange encounter, if you want to have a cliffhanger, it's fine. It's fine for me, because it's a strange encounter, something happened, but the ending you're not sure, it's fine, as long as it's a story. Okay? All right. Marks will not be deducted if you exceed the word. Yes, Siti Rokia, marks will not be deducted, but I want to tell you this. If you write too long, it means that you are writing more than that it was asked. Just say in part 1 or part 2, you write too long, you're writing more than the question asked you. So you are not adhering to what have been asked from you. So you might have problems with communicative achievement and your content, because you are going way beyond what has been asked from you. Because when they ask you the question, they know that you can write within 80 words or 150 words. So don't go beyond. All right? Is that okay, Siti Rokia? Alia said no, but don't write too long, because the examiner will find it boring unless you are smart enough to attract the attention. All right, Alia. Not really, even though we are attracted to your essay, but if you write more than is required, that means information, more information than the required information we want, it means that you are not able to adhere to what has been asked from you. Okay, Alia? Okay, any more question? No, 2 new ideas you want to share to your friends? No, sudah tengok nak sudah 10:45. Okay. Alright, I just want to ask you, this one was done, this was done by this school. This school did for me. SMBAS, Sekolah Agama Bestari Subang. Okay, the teacher, one of the teachers did this to me while I was giving the course. Then she shared this image. So this is why. I don't know, do you feel that this acronym helps you when you are writing? This is my own that I came up with. Right, okay, so hopefully it helps you when you are writing your essay, no matter what essay, even after your Form 5, you go to Form 6, use this, it will be helpful. Okay, so that's all for writing. Okay, anything is catchy and funny. Yeah, I got another one for your speaking, which I did just for you all. I didn't have that when I did the other schools, but just for you all, I have another one that I will share with you when I'm doing speaking. All right. Okay, so tapir lah. Everything just say tapir lah. Okay, you got a tapir walking there looking at you. So that's all. Good luck for your writing. Thank you for inviting me, even though it's virtual. Virtually, I've gone to Perak, I've gone to Sandakan, and I've been in Penang. So thank you for your invitation. I'll see you again later for the speaking. Okay, I'm giving it back to the MC. I'm sorry, it's 10:43. Dah lepas lebih masa. Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Ilha, for the fruitful session just now. So I believe that the Tapela technique will be very, very useful for all of us, and not only for the SPM candidates. I believe it's useful for the teachers as well, because it can be used for any kind of writing, right? Okay, so we'll have a short break, right? Since now it's already 10:45. So we will resume at 11:10. Okay, so just now I said that we'll resume at 11 a.m., right? But since now it's already 10:45, so we'll resume at 11:10. But I would highly appreciate it if you guys could join earlier, so that the next session we can start earlier, so that Dr. Ilha could have ample time to finish his session. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you again at 11:10. Okay. So I hope everyone is refreshed again, and you guys are ready for our second part of the session. All right, so since just now for the first session, Dr. Ilha has covered for the writing paper. So for the second part of the slot, Dr. Ilha will be sharing with us about the speaking paper. All right, so I hope you guys are all ready. I know that some of you are still not here, but hopefully they will join us shortly, yeah. So without wasting any more time, I welcome Dr. Ilha again to share with us.
Okay, thank you so much again. I hope you all have a nice short break. Okay, so I also don't want to waste time, because I know learning online is not something easy. Okay, so again, we are looking at paper, is it 3 ya? Betul ke paper 3? 3 kan? Speaking.
Yes.
Tengok saya pun tak ingat, dah pening kepala. Okay, alright. So, semua orang pening kepala dah. Okay, paper 3 we are looking at it, alright, on speaking. So what I'm going to share with you, information has been seen with other schools, but I have come up with a formula. Hopefully the formula will help you, and you will realize that my formula all animal based when it's productive skill. When it's productive writing and speaking, it's I don't know why, somehow the formula comes out and it's an animal. All right, I don't know why. Okay, now before we can start, I always have my starter, meaning name the parts for your SPM English language speaking paper. How many parts are there? Name the parts. 3 parts. 1. Don't know. You only know there are 3 parts. You don't know what is part 1, part 2, part 3. Okay, never mind. Now for each part of the papers, how many minutes? Okay, each part, I don't think you are, in the whole paper, how many minutes are you given?
5.
Again?
5.
4 minutes.
12.
11. All right, you are given about 12 minutes, 13 minutes, okay, to speak. Very short. It is the shortest assessment ever, but it is the most tiring assessment, because after you come out from the examination room, you feel that you have been in that room for 1 hour. Okay, I don't know, how did you all feel when you all did your PT3? It was done by the teachers anyway, but did you all feel the anxiety and the tiredness after you finish, even though it was only about 12 minutes? Yes, right. So it's more tiring than doing your other paper, even though it's the shortest. Okay, what is the marks for you for your speaking paper? Marks percentage again.
Percentage 25%, the total marks 20 marks.
All right, very good. So you only have 20 marks. Okay, so this is, you have, so 13 minutes, you can see that. All right, 25%. So you have part 1 is an interview. Part 2 is individual long-term based on prompts, and part 3 is discussion. All right, and it's pair work, 13 minutes, shortest of all. It is 1.5, 40 minutes, but this is only 13 minutes. And it's the one that you all hate the most, I know, because it's very stressful. Okay, right, so what we are going to do is we are going to look at these 3 parts. Right, so let's look at part 1, interview. Okay, now the purpose of the interview is to introduce each other. I want to let you know that assessor, the person who's assessing. There are two people in the room, right? When you did PT3, it's exactly the same. That is why it's very important to go through the experience in PT3, because it is the same with Form 5. All right, so the two groups that are not going through the PT3 English paper, it's very sad for them, because when they go Form 5 next year, and then they sit for the exam, maybe in 2024, they will, in 2023, they will not have that benefit of experiencing it when they were in Form 3. So it'll be their first time. Okay, so introduce each other. All right, so the examiner will say, I am, just say if I'm the examiner, I'll say, I am Dr. Ila and this is my colleague. All right, another teacher, Puan Nurul, for example. Okay, you need to know this. The person who's talking to you would be your school teacher. It can be any of your school teacher, depending on who has been selected. Right, the person who sits at the back or at the angle is a teacher from a nearby school, somewhere out of the school. And that teacher would not talk to you at all. She or he is there just to give you marks and that's it, right? But just with the presence of that teacher will make you have that fear, I can understand. So just focus on that teacher who you know is in front of you, unless you don't know the teacher because the teacher has not taught to you, but you should feel more comfortable with whoever is in front of you because it is from your school, all right? So we will just introduce each other. I am home and this is my colleague and she will only be listening. That's what we'll tell you. She will be only listening or he will only be listening. All right. And then we will say you are, and then you have to say whatever your name is. It is basically just to get you feel comfortable. Okay. And also just to ask you general questions. For example, where do you live? All right, you can say wherever you live, but don't say you live in Mars or Pluto or where other planets because it makes no sense. But you can say you live in any taman, even though it's not your real taman, okay? All right, because we're not going to check at the APDM and see whether true or not you live there. How do you come to school? If your father drives you to school, but you say you want to come to school by bus, fine, come to school by bus. How many siblings do you have? All right, you can lie. Nobody knows. Okay? It's just to make you feel comfortable. Where are you from? Please don't say you are from Mars, you are from Pluto, you are from Venus. No, don't say you are from where else? From another country unless you are. If you are from a different state, you can say, you know, I am from Malacca, but I've been in Penang for the last 5 years, for example. You can say that, it's fine. All right? Okay. Now, the phase one is very simple, just to make you feel comfortable. It's just a few seconds, all right, maybe 30 seconds, a minute, that's it. Okay, and then in part one, there are two phases. Phase one, introducing each other, asking you general questions. Phase two, we will be asking you more specific information. Okay, you will be asked one or more questions depending on your explanation. So we ask you about your daily routines, we ask you about your school life, we ask about family life, ask about hobbies, favorite pastimes, we ask about ambitions and other familiar topics that you know very well. Okay, so for example, what do you normally do after you wake up? Now there's the one in blue, right? What I want to tell you is that the teacher who's talking to you is known as the interlocutor. Interlocutor is the teachers that are talking to you. The one that is quietly sitting at the angle is called the assessor. All right. The interlocutor has a script. Okay, so we are actually just parrots reading the script and making it sound normal. We are not allowed to make it easy. We are not allowed to use other words than the words given in the script. So for example, we ask you a question like, what do you normally do after you wake up? And then you stare at us blankly, not knowing what to say. Then we would say the one in blue. What is the first thing you do every day? Even if you look at us blankly, we will just repeat the question. We cannot simplify it. All right? Then you have to answer. I'm just giving you the question that I'll tell you how you should answer it. What do you usually do after coming back from school? Or if you don't understand that, we ask you, what do you do when you get home from school every day? Okay, or how do you spend your leisure time? If you don't understand the word leisure, then we would say, what do you do when you have free time? What do you do on weekends? You don't understand the meaning of weekends, then we'll ask you, what do you do on Friday? Or we ask you what you do on Saturday, Sunday. Now, what you do when you get questions like that is you just answer the question. Like I normally, get up, the first thing I do is I fold and make my bed. I make my bed up to make it sure that it is arranged properly so that later in the night I would be able to come to a made up bed, for example. So I'm giving one, what I'm doing, and second, I'm giving a reason why I'm doing it. That should be sufficient. If they see that if the interlocutor want to ask you a second question, they would. It depends on how long you take to answer the question, because it is just a short discussion about what you do. Again, just to make you feel comfortable, right? They can also, it's the same question, tell us about your hobby. Now, when someone say tell us about your hobby, tell what your hobby is, all right? I love collecting stamps, which I think nobody collects stamps anymore because there's no more letters sending to the house, and if there is, there's no stamps. All right, for example, I like to collect coins. I started collecting coins since I was how old? And I've been, getting coins from my family or my father, who often travels overseas, and when he comes back, the first thing I do is ask him to share all the coins or the currency that he has used, and I take the one that looks special. So explain, talk about it until the interlocutor say thank you, then you stop. Because the more you talk better, the more the interlocutor talk not good. Just make it that way. If the interlocutor is always asking you question and trying to make you talk, it means they are not talking enough. Okay? How many siblings do you have? Okay, I have 4 siblings. Then you don't say how many siblings do you have? I have 4, and keep quiet. I have 4 siblings. Give the answer. Elaborate your answer. Okay, or if you answer 4, then you say who. Are you the eldest? Are you the second one? Are you the third one? Who are the first 2, boys, girls, whatever. Just give information even though you are not asked. Because let's face it, if I see you for the first time in real life, okay, we get to know each other, and I say, how many siblings do you have? You say 4 and you keep quiet. I don't think you do that, right? You say, I have 4, and the eldest, so I'm the eldest. Okay, the second one is a girl or my sister, and then I have 2 more brothers. They are all still schooling, whatever. You would say that in real life conversation if you meet a new friend, right? So do that the same thing when you are talking about, when you are asked these questions. What subjects do you enjoy? At school? I love history. The reason I love history is because, just elaborate on your answer until the interlocutor say thank you. Don't just say history and then look at the interlocutor. Got it, everyone? This is very basic daily routine questions, which I think you got answers to it. What clubs or societies do you join in school? So say, what do you like about school? Even if you don't like, you can say you don't like. What do you like? I like nothing about school because blah, 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 blah. We are not looking at correct answer. We are looking at whether you're able to express yourself. Okay? What games do you like the most? So talk about that. These are all sample questions that they can ask you in phase 2. And looking at the questions, I don't think you have problems with the answers because they are all related to your life. They're not asking something that is beyond that, correct? Everyone is quiet. All right, okay. What do you need to do? Just like I say, listen carefully to the question asked because you have nothing written given to you for this phase 1 or phase 2, correct? For part 1. So listen carefully. If you cannot understand the question, you can say, ask the questions to be repeated if needed to. If you understand, please don't ask them to repeat. Like, I beg your pardon, please repeat the question. You can say, I don't understand what you're asking. You can ask that, it's fine. All right, answer the question that is being asked and then give reasons for your answers. So you have LAR. You know what's a LAR? The small a for you to remember is only use it if necessary. If not, it's only L, A, R. That's it. The small a here is this part, the one in blue. Needed only when necessary. No, you don't. You can ignore this. Listen question, answer question, give reasons. The answer, okay. Clear? Do you know what's a LAR? Do you know what's a LAR? L-A-R. Yes or no?
Yes.
I can hear somebody. I don't know whether it's yes or no. I heard no. No, I assume that's a no. LAR is an animal. It's a gibbon. It's a monkey that has white palms. It's found in Malaysia and Thailand only. Okay. I'll show you the animal in a while. So all got tapir lah and lar. Look at me. Okay. Now we are going to part 2. Individual long term based on prompts. Meaning, okay. So this one is what will be read out to you. You won't be able to see this. Okay, so this is what you will hear. You will hear the interlocutor saying in this part of the test, you are given a topic and you have to talk about it on your own for about a minute. You also need to answer a question briefly about your partner's topic. This is what you will hear. You will not be able to read anything. I'm just sharing it with you what will be said to you, okay? So the interlocutor will then look at whoever candidate A is. So if candidate A, just say candidate A is Ali, candidate B is Abu. So I will
teacher.
Yeah. What is it? Somebody said something. Hello. Dah diam dah.
Yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What was the question that you asked? No question. Okay, so if candidate A is Ali, I won't call Ali candidate A. I will say, Ali, I'd like you to talk about a celebration held at your school. First, you have some time to think about what you are going to say. I'm going to repeat. You will not be able to see this. This is what the interlocutor will be telling you. You will only get to listen. All right, you will be given this. When the interlocutor said this is what candidate A will get. You will get this part and you will see a celebration at school, talk about the celebration held at your school. You should say what the event was. As a school prefect, what you did there. If you enjoyed yourself, why or why not? Why schools should hold celebrations. Now you have only 20 seconds. You will get this, and when the interlocutor said first, you have some time to think about what you are going to say. You only have 20 seconds. So you look at this, you should plan in your head what you are going to say. You don't have a paper, you don't have a pencil because you have no time to write down answers. So you need to be able to give answer on the spot, 20 seconds, plan in your head what you are going to say, and then say it. So after 20 seconds is up, we will say, okay, you can start now. So you have to start. You can say that, the event was, I don't know, whatever, you can name it like a Teacher's Day celebration. I was not a school, if you are not a school prefect, just say it. I'm not the school prefect. I'm there as a normal student, and therefore this is what I did. Say lah, I was there helping out the teachers to give out some prizes or whatever. Okay, and I really didn't enjoy myself because I was sitting there under the hot sun, and very close with, and I was sweating profusely, whatever, say it. It doesn't have to be a positive experience. If you feel it was a negative one, share it. If it was a positive one, share it. And I think schools should not hold a celebration and explain why. Or if you feel that school should hold celebration, say yes, I think they should hold celebration because it makes the relationship between students and teachers and the school community closer. All right, just give and speak about it for 1 minute. You are given 1 minute to talk about this. So speak 1 minute. All right, if you got a lot to speak, the interlocutor will say thank you. That means that you have spoken enough. All right, and then Abu is candidate B. Then after we have said thank you, then we will say, Abu, what was the recent celebration held at your school? Did you have fun? Why? So Abu listen and Abu has to respond. Okay, there was no recent celebration held at my school because it was COVID, so therefore I didn't have any fun. I was just staying at home. It's fine. So this question will not be asked to you definitely when you are in Form 5, because they know this is not a good question to ask when we are having COVID-19. All right, the pandemic is going on. All right, so once that is done, then we will say, all right, Abu, is your turn. So Abu's turn. Abu, I'd like you to talk about your favorite relative. First, you have some time to think about what you're going to say. So Abu have 20 seconds to look at this and organize his thoughts on what he's going to say. Okay, you should say who this person is, what this person looks like, why this person is your favorite relative, if you think it's important for people to be close with their families, why or why not. So these notes are your guide to tell you what you should say. All right, even if you don't have a favorite relative, you can make up one, because nobody knows whether you have it or not, right? No one's going to check. And then once candidate B has finished talking for 1 minute, then we'll say thank you, and then we'll say, Ali, who's your favorite relative and why? So Ali will just share who his favorite relative and his reason. You will realize that whatever candidate B is talking about, we are not checking whether candidate A is listening. We ask a same question that is related to candidate A. Realize that, right? Same with just now, the first task. All right, so don't worry too much if you weren't able to understand what your friend was talking about, because we are going to ask you a question that is only relevant to you. Okay, so how do you do this? Also learn by add an E, a small E, meaning listen carefully, answer the question now. You do not have to ask the examiner to repeat the question, because you would get the stimulus in front of you, right? You will get that paper in front of you. So you read that stimulus provided with the guided notes to help you. So you don't have to worry about, can you please repeat the question? It's there for you to talk what you need to talk, right? And then you give reasons for your answer. If you don't have to give reason, you elaborate. So it's also LAR, but there's an E at the back, same thing. So the basic one is LAR. So depend on which part you are doing, you either add the E or the small a. The small a, if you don't have the stimulus, you don't have anything in front of you, you just basically listen, then you need to ask for repetition if required. If you have a stimulus in front of you, you don't have to have the small a. Instead, you might need the small e to elaborate on your answers. Okay? All right. Now, then we go to part 3, discussion. Okay? So in your discussion, this is what you will hear. Both of you will talk about something together for about 3 minutes. So you have 3 minutes. Okay? The task will have 2 parts. In the first part, you will discuss something with each other for about 2 minutes. So the first part, you discuss for 2 minutes, aloud, in front of the interlocutor and assessor. Okay, in the second part, you have another minute to make a decision together. Now, For the first part here, you have 20 seconds again given to you, right? Now, when we say now decide what you have to make a decision, you are not given any seconds to decide. You have to immediately talk to each other for 1 minute and make a decision. There's only 20 seconds at the first part. That's it, right? So, for example, you will hear this. People today spend less time reading. Here are some reasons why people must read every day and a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task. Now, I'm pressing the wrong thing. This part, you will not see anything. You will only listen, but you will see only this. A bubble map. Now, I am sure you have seen this when you were doing PT3 2019. Okay? The part 2, I remember you all had a picture series and you all had to tell a story based on that picture series. When you are in Form 5, there are no longer picture series. They are given you notes and what you need to talk about. Correct? Same thing, different stimulus. Clear? I'm very silent, very quiet. Okay? All right. Clear? You know
Clear.
that? Okay.
Clear.
Now, when you get that 20 seconds, right? Discuss with each other who wants to take what points. You can say, Ali, you take this, I take this. That is what you do in the 20 seconds because you already got the question here. Why must people read every day? So when the interlocutor is talking about this, you see nothing. But when you are looking, when she or he starts talking about this, she or he will share with you this. So you already know the question. Look at the question, look at the 6 points, always 6 points. So decide who is going to take what point during this time. You can discuss in front of the interlocutor is fine. Abu, you take this 1, 2, 3. I take this one. Can? All right. And then which one would be our decision? You can even discuss in that 20 seconds straight away what decision you want. And then you can say, I think I will select this. Okay, fine. Then you start. 20 seconds is very fast. It goes. Okay. And then you will start talking to each other for 2 minutes. All right. Now 2 minutes sounds like so long. It's not. So what you can do is sometimes you can combine 2 points. All right. You can say that it improves and also. So you combine 2 points in when you are explaining. Don't forget your turn taking because part 3, you are talking to one another. The first thing is face one another. Don't look at the interlocutor and look at and talk to the interlocutor. This is not a communication with the interlocutor. Part 2, yes, part 2, you are talking to the interlocutor about your favorite relative or the celebration. So you can talk, look at the teacher and talk. But for part 3, please look at your friend because you are talking to your friend, you're discussing with your friend. The interlocutor is just there to help when you get stuck, like you don't know what to say, she will point to certain parts of the bubble and say, what do you think about this? Okay, just to help you if you are stuck. But if you are not, you talk to your friend. Have eye contact with your friend. Turn take, what do you think? If Ali was the first person to speak, then do you agree with me, Abu? That'd be one way. What do you think, Abu? That's another way. All right. And then when Abu will say that, I agree with you. If you are Abu, I agree with you, Ali. However, your linkers. I think, blah, blah, blah. Say whatever you think. All right. Okay. Don't you agree with me, Ali? That's how you discuss. Because that's how people discuss. Or what do you think? Do you have another opinion? So have all these words in your head or phrases in your head when you are going into your speaking assessment. How do you turn take? All right, you must make sure that you always acknowledge your friend who is sitting there. Mention your friend's name. Get him into the conversation. All right. And then after that 1 minute, so talk to each other. Now talk to each other about the reasons why people must read every day. So you talk for 2 minutes. All right. After you have spoken for 2 minutes, the interlocutor will say, okay, now you have a minute to decide together which is the best reason why teenagers must read every day. So you have discussed all the 6, but you have not made a decision for that 2 minutes. You just discussed for 2 minutes, which is different from your Form 3. Your Form 3, that 2 minutes include the decision. But in your Form 5, you discuss 2 minutes, and then now you got 1 more minute to tell your friend why you have decided on one of these, which is the best reason. So for example, if you feel that improves your language and vocabulary, this is the one that you have decided, then you will say that I think out of all these 6 reasons, the best reason is because it improves our language and vocabulary. All right, like I've told earlier when we were discussing this, blah, blah, blah. What do you think, Ali? And then Ali would say that actually I don't really agree with you, but after listening to your explanation, I've changed my mind and I agree that. You can say that, it's fine. Or I initially felt that it reduces stress, but after listening to you, I think I agree with you that it does improve our language and vocabulary when we read every day. I can guarantee you it is 1 minute when you finish saying that. Okay? Clear? Because during that time, you'll be looking for words to say. All right? Okay, so you will have that 1 minute to decide. So when you are preparing for that 20 seconds, discuss. Ali, I ambil ni kan, you cakap bahasa Melayu pun masa tu kan, tak apa, sebab you are not discussing it yet. Right? You take this, this you can show. Right? Then you have that. Okay? Okay, so what do you need to do? Same formula with part 2. Listen carefully. You always have to listen. Okay, what the interlocutor is saying. Then answer the question because you can read the bubble map provided and ensure you discuss the ideas provided. So you take half, your friend take half. Elaborate on your answer or give reasons why you chose the answers that you are giving. Right? That's what you need to do. Okay, now this is an extra part that you have, right? You've been talking about why people must read every day. Now let's hear your opinion on this. In what ways does social media influence people's reading habits? Based on this one, this bubble map that you have just now, all right? There is now an extension question that has nothing to do with the bubble map, but something, the theme about reading is there, all right? So they ask you that in what ways does social media influence people's reading habits? This is the one to know whether you are C1 student or not, whether you are able to explain and give your opinion. You do not have 20 seconds to prepare. Just to let you know, when we say you have been talking about why people must read every day, now let's hear your opinion on this. In what ways does social media influence people's reading habits? Ali? So Ali will start. He has to give his opinion on how social media influence people's reading habits. Right. So again, what do you do in this part? Listen carefully. You do not have anything in front of you for this question. So ask the question to be repeated if need to. I beg your pardon because I know exam stress. So you can ask them to repeat the question. The interlocutor will repeat the question for you. All right. And then answer the question that has been given. Elaborate your answer. All right. Okay. Now, what are the examiners looking for? Okay, these are what we are looking for when you are talking. These are what we are looking for. Grammar. You know, the person who sits at the angle, he's listening to your grammar. He or she is listening to the choice of words you use. He's listening to your communicative competence. The interlocutor who are talking, the teacher who's talking to you is only looking at your overall spoken performance. All right, the interlocutor is the nearest to you and have a different relationship with you than the assessor, because we are directly talking to you and we are looking at things differently from the assessor, right? So for grammar, they are looking at accuracy. How accurate is your grammar? If you do errors, don't worry. We are looking whether you are self-correcting yourself. If you self-correct, meaning you know you are making errors and you're correcting yourself. We are also looking at your grammatical structures. And we also see how important cohesive devices and connectors, same like writing. However, therefore, in other words, for example, for instance, organizational patterns first. I believe this, then next, right? That is what we are looking at, grammar. For vocabulary, we are looking at the choice of vocabulary you use. Are you able to give and exchange views on a wide range of abstract, complex, unfamiliar topics? Remember, unfamiliar topics will be in part 3, the second phase, where we ask you something that has no relation with the bubble map, but the theme is there, right? Convey specific differences in meaning. Meaning when you use your words, the choice of words that you use can tell us the different meanings that you're trying to tell us. That is why you have to practice speaking to one another in English and not just, do it last minute. Tomorrow want to do speaking test. Today you all want to do something, cannot. Speaking is something you need to practice all the time. So when your teachers ask you to do a speaking activity, please take that opportunity to do it, right? Whether it's recording, whether it's whatever, take that opportunity, because that's the only way you will be able to practice. All right, communicative competence. We are looking at spontaneity, meaning that when you are asked a question, you have little or no hesitation. Hesitation means that trying to think what to say, all right? And then the examiner has to help you. Then we know that your communicative competence is lacking, right? You know how to initiate. Initiate means, Ali, what do you think about this? Initiate. You know how to maintain and develop and close the conversation. I think that's all. Okay, when you close the conversation, that's what I noticed in part 3. Your discussion is finished, and then you are looking at the bubble map. There are 6 points. Okay, just say you finish speaking in 1 minute and 50 seconds, right? You just stop and then you stare at the interlocutor. Don't do that. You will say that, I think, all right, we have discussed all 6, right? Yeah, I think that's it. So you close your conversation. If you have decided that both of you have agreed on the point, then you have to say, so both of us have agreed on this point. That's wonderful. It's awesome that we have, come to an agreement. That's how you close the conversation. Not just speak and then look at the interlocutor, and then the interlocutor will say, okay, done. And that means you are not able to close the conversation for the interlocutor to know that you are done. All right. Now, relate contributions of one's partner. What it means is this: if your partner says something during the discussion, you either say that, oh, so you mean this? I agree with you. So you are always going back to what your partner has contributed. This is more of the third part 3. Okay, I agree with you, I disagree with you, I know what you mean, but, so you are always going back to what your partner is saying. All right, now this is what the interlocutor is looking, the teacher who's talking to you. Understanding of task. If you keep asking the interlocutor to repeat and you are saying something totally different, I can see that you don't understand the task, right? Handling of topics, meaning how do you ask and respond to questions and suggestions, how you maintain and develop the interaction. If your friend is stuck, are you helping your friend out? Your own vocabulary, your grammar knowledge. How long is your utterances? You have full stop or you don't have full stop, right? How much support you need? You need a lot of prompting, the less marks you get. Okay? So for speaking, out of these 4, each of them can go up to 6 marks. So 4 times 6 is how many? Just now you said 20 marks, right? So 4 times 6 is how many?
28.
24. Yeah, it's okay if you're not a maths. I'm not a maths teacher, so my maths is bad. So the maximum marks you can get is 24 if you get all 6. 6 meaning you are a C1 candidate. Okay? Right? Okay. Now, I just want to ask the teachers, have you all shown, I'm sure you have shown them the video, right? Of the one that Lembaga shared. Did you all show it to them? Cikgu ada tunjuk tak? The teachers also disappeared already. Cikgu ada tunjuk tak? Or your teacher has shown. So have you watched all 4? All 4? All 4, yes. You have watched all 4. Right. So you all should aim to be like who? Aina and the other girl. What's the girl's name? Aina and Aida, is it? Aina and who's that girl? I cannot remember. The last one. You all know who I'm talking about? No. Oh my God. You all remember or don't remember? Sometimes your teacher has watched. I can't remember the name. Okay, it's okay. You can't remember. Do you all remember or you all don't remember what I'm talking about? No, cannot remember. I don't remember. Do you want to watch one of it? To so that what I've explained to you, and then when you watch, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Okay. Should I show you the best one, or should I show you one good and one bad? Which one? You all decide. One good, one bad. One good, one bad. Okay. All right. You're very funny. Okay. Cikgu, you all ada lagi kat sini ke? Cikgu, you all pun dah penat. Sekejap ya. Alright, you all have to give me, wait, I have to look for where the videos are. Okay. Alright, what's going to happen when I show you the videos is this. Oh God, it's not this one. What's going to happen is you won't be able to hear me speak because I have to change my settings so that you can hear the audio from my computer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this a candidate. I want you to look at what the pupil or the candidate could do, right? I'm going to show you one. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you one. Hold on. Let me change my setting. After this, you can't hear my voice, huh?
Good morning. I'm Puan Alawiyah, and this is my colleague, Puan Nur Shazwani. She'll just...
My name is Farid.
Okay, and what about you? What's your name?
My name is Muhammad Farhad.
All right, thank you. Farid, where do you live?
I live Putrajaya Persin 9.
Okay, and Farhan, where do you live?
I live at Bengkel.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you about your daily routine. Farid, what do you normally do after you wake up?
After I wake up, I wash my face. And that's it.
Okay. Farhan, what do you normally do after you wake up?
I wash my face and take a shower.
All right. Farid, what do you usually do after coming back from school?
Coming back of school, I think I just sleep, and before I sleep, I Wash my face again.
Okay, thank you. And Farhan, what do you do on weekends?
On weekend, I will play football at the evening.
Okay, all right, thank you. In this part of the test, I'm going to give each of you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it on your own for about a minute. You also need to answer a question briefly about your partner's topic. Farid, it's your turn first. Here's your task. I'd like you to talk about a family celebration you had recently. First, you have some time to think about what you're going to say. All right?
Okay.
You may start now.
Okay, family celebration. Family celebration event. I think family celebration I can do event like happy birthday, celebrate the happy birthday. For example, I do the celebrate my sister happy birthday, and who were there? Have my brother, have my sister, have my father, my mother, and my sister. Then I singing the song like happy birthday to you, like that. And then I enjoy with myself because when we celebrate together with our family, we can make a strong relationship between us.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Farhan, what was the last celebration you had?
I went to Vietnam with my father.
Okay. Did you have a good time?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Can I have the booklet, please?
Okay.
Now, Farhan, here's your task. I'd like you to talk about a person you admire. First, you have some time to think about what you're going to say. Okay? You may start now.
The most person that I admire is Cristiano Ronaldo. He look like he has a mustache, curly hair, and looks so handsome. And I admire him because he pro playing football, pro dribbling, then can score goal from any side. I like to see his at stadium, and I hope I can get a photo with him. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Farid, who do you admire?
Admire. And I don't understand what I mean.
Who do you like?
Oh, okay. I like my sister
Why?
because my sister my sister good in education, and she good in sport. She playing at SUKMA like that.
All right, thank you so much. Can I have the booklet, please?
Thank you.
Now, I'd like you to talk about something together for about 3 minutes. The task will have 2 parts. In the first part, you will discuss something with each other for about 2 minutes. Then, in the second part, you will have another minute to make a decision together. All right?
All right.
Now, let's begin with the discussion task. All right? Online shopping is gaining popularity in our country. All right? Here are some reasons why people shop online and a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Now, talk to each other, okay, about the reasons why people shop online.
Okay, I start first. Okay, okay. Okay, the first reason why people shop online is because it's a better prices. If we shop online, it's more cheaper than you go to the shopping mall and buy at there. And reason 2 is time saving. Shop online will make you cut off your time. No need to go outside to buy something else. No stuck in the jam. Okay. Okay. I agree with your point, better price and time saving. So my point for why people shop online. Okay, why people shop online? My opinion is convenience. Convenient. Sorry, convenient. Okay, why the convenient? Because when we buy at the shopping online, we easy to take the order, and we can to take a queue. Then we go to the shop at the street. We need to take a queue so long. And then when we shop and why people shop online? Because follow the trend. Because in the shop online, like Shopee, like Zalora, like that, this web always follow the trend, like shirt, shoe. And then the last point, you can this. The last point is wide variety. If shopping online, you can search all of the thing you want. It's many various of type you want.
Okay.
All
right. Thank you. All right. Now, thank you.
Okay.
All right. You have about a minute to discuss and decide together which is the most popular reason people shop online.
Which one?
You have to sit.
Yeah.
What is your decision, please?
Okay. Our decision is time saving. Because time saving, like I say, it will short your time. No, you don't need to go outside. Just open your phone and open the app you want to buy. Then buy, and the postman will send it to your home in few days.
All right. Thank you so much. Can I have the booklet, please?
Okay.
All right. That's the end of the speaking test. Thank you, Farid.
Okay, I think you can hear me again. All right. So this is Farid. This is Farhan. Who do you think did better?
Farhan.
Yeah, Farhan is much confident than Farid, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Farid, I'm just going to tell you the marks that was given to him. All right, he only got 6 out of 24. All right, that was what's given to him, and Farhan got 9 out of 24. All right, so I don't know, because some of you are boarding school, some of you are not. I don't know what level you are at, but some of the things that they could have done better was they should have discussed during the 20 seconds who's going to take what point. Okay, and then what the decision would be. Because just now when they said the interlocutor said that you have to make a decision, they were pointing what decision instead of straight away discussing it. All right, so the interlocutor had to say, okay, what's your decision? Then only they spoke, right? You need to know this student, it's the 2019 SPM student, 2020 SPM student, I think. 2020 SPM student or 2019 SPM student. I'm not sure, I cannot remember, because they did a recording way before that. Okay. So they are no longer, I don't know where they are in their life. Okay, maybe you know them. They are somewhere. All right. Okay, so I don't know, are teachers here? Because I don't know whether you all want to see Tanisha and the other guy, Anas, or you all prefer to see Alia and Amina. Which one you all want to see? Nobody wants to give me answer. Anybody? Alia and Amina, you all prefer to see, because Alia and Amina, they have the full, this video, they didn't have the last part of the part 3, yeah? Alia and Amina is the only one that has the last part. Yeah. Okay, so I'll share with you all again. Before that, I have to change my setting again.
Good morning. I'm Puan Sarina, and this is my colleague, Puan Nur Eliza. She'll just listen to us. First of all, we'd like to know something about you. What's your name?
My name is Aminah Nur Khadijah Binti Haizan. You can call me Aminah.
Thank you. And what's your name?
My name is Alia Kila, but you can call me Alia.
Thank you. Aminah, where do you live?
I live in Section 9 Bandar Berban.
Alia, how do you come to school?
I walk to school every morning.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you about your daily routine. Aminah, what do you normally do after you wake up?
Every morning, I wake up and get ready for school. I will take a bath and iron my uniform, and then I will wait for my bus.
Alia, what do you usually do after coming back from school?
I usually get ready and have lunch, and then do my chores.
Aminah, how do you spend your leisure time?
There are several activities I do. Sometimes I spend it by watching TV with my family, or I do my homework, or I will spend it watching YouTube videos on my phone.
Alia, what do you do on weekends?
I usually spend my time dividing myself between doing chores and also doing my homework, finishing up.
Thank you. In this part of the test, I'm going to give each of you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it on your own for about a minute. You also need to answer a question briefly about your partner's topic. Amina, it's your turn first. Here's your task. I'd like you to talk about a family celebration you had recently. First, you have some time to think about what you're going to say. All right, you may start now.
The family celebration I just had recently was actually Eid Mubarak, which was last May. What I did there was we cooked nasi dagang with the whole family. We talked together, and we also took some pictures. I did enjoy myself there because I love being with my family. And for me, family celebrations are important in Malaysia because family bonds are everything after all. And I think that family need to get to know each other better and get used to each other.
Thank you. Alia, what was the last celebration you had? Did you have a good time? Why?
The last time I had a celebration was actually my birthday. Me and my family had dinner at one of my favorite restaurants, and I enjoyed myself because I was able to indulge myself in small chats with my family.
Thank you. Amina, can I have the booklet, please? Now, Alia, here's your task. I'd like you to talk about a person you admire. First, you have some time to think about what you're going to say. All right, you may start now.
The person I admire is my mother. I think that she is a very responsible and a very hardworking person, and I find that I can rely myself on her a lot because she knows a lot of things about topics. And I also think it is important for people to have a good role model in order for people to learn and to have better character and better growth for themselves to expand into their life.
Thank you. Amina, who do you admire?
The person I admire is actually Kim Namjoon, or also known as RM from the group BTS. I admire him because he has a really good sense of leadership, and I love how caring he is for when he taking care of his members, and that inspired me a lot.
Thank you. Alia, can I have the booklet, please? Online shopping is gaining popularity in our country. Here are some reasons why people shop online and a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task.
This is tricky. And we'll go in between. I'll go first with this one. I'll go first with this one.
Now, talk to each other about the reasons why people shop online.
Okay, I will go first. So the first reason why people shop online is because it is a time saver. you don't have to go outside and go to shops or malls. You can just easily sit at your home and pull out your phones. And it's really just at the tip of your finger.
Besides that, no crowds is also a big factor in why people shop online. People tend to like to go hassle-free without having to bump into other people, and maybe even lessen the amount of time you have to wait for the product.
Yes, I agree with that. Other points I can say is items on online are at better prices. So I think people are attracted to things that are at reasonable price.
And other than that, actually, also because online shopping has a wide variety of items, so people can access themselves to different types of things that they want specifically.
Another point I'd like to add is it is very convenient because, as I said before, you don't have to dress up and go out to malls. You just have to stay at your home and pull out your phones and you just shop anything you want.
And lastly, online shopping really helps follow the trend because the website is able to recommend items that are in season.
Thank you. Now you have about a minute to decide together which is the most popular reason people shop online.
In my opinion, the reason why people shop online because it is time saving, because it is actually important for people who have works in their daily life, and if they're busy, they don't have to go outside to buy the things they want. So it is very time saving for them to just shop on their phones.
What do you think about convenience though? I think convenience does play a big impact on people shopping, because with shopping online, you don't have to even step outside of your house.
Yes, I actually do agree to that.
So I think we both agree that people shop online mainly because of its convenience.
Thank you. Can I have the booklet, please? In what ways does advertising on social media influence people buying behavior?
In my opinion, I think a lot of people find social media as a platform to shop online because platforms like Instagram and Twitter, they often showcase big names like celebrities like Kylie Jenner and everything. And when Kylie Jenner buys a specific product, it helps prompt her audience to be interested in it.
Yes, I do agree with Anya. But I would add another point. Nowadays, there are a method of advertising called sponsoring. It's where brands such as makeup brand Maybelline, where they sponsored celebrities or endorsers or influencers, and therefore it can attract their fans and audiences to buy the product that they sponsored.
Thank you, Amina and Alia. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have watched this one. Okay, Amina and Alia, who do you think did better?
Amina, I guess.
Amina. Amina is, this is Amina, this is Alia. So you all feel Amina did better?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're surprised to let you know that actually both of them at the same, and more or less the same level, but Alia got 23 out of 24, while Amina got 22 out of 24. Okay, so that was the mark given by Lembaga anyway. So either one, if you can speak like them, it will be much better. The only feedback I would give is the first part. Like for example, they say they like to do chores. It'd be good if you give, like, I do chores, for example. What chores are you doing? Because there are some minutes for you to, some seconds, more seconds for you to talk. It'd be better if you talk. Even in part 2, when they are talking about the topic that they were given, all right, celebration and also relative. They had 1 minute to talk, so it would be better if that 1 minute is being used. Because you can see that the interlocutor was looking at the time and looking at them because they have finished talking, but they have still more time to talk. So my advice to all of you is make use of that 1 minute. It's your 1 minute, all right? So don't just want to quickly finish it, because you need to make sure that you show the interlocutor and the assessor that you know you have a lot of vocabulary, because we need to look at your vocab, at your grammar and so on. So if you don't have that, then if you can't see that, then we wouldn't be able to award you the marks. Okay? All right. Have any questions that you want to ask?
No, teacher, everything is clear.
Everything is clear. Okay. Don't forget your attendance, that your teacher has shared the link for you to sign. It is always easy to watch someone else do a speaking test. When you are in the situation, because I've done this with other schools where they try out, they find it suddenly difficult. Suddenly when you are put on the spot and you have to do it, you suddenly find that you cannot say anything. So you need to practice. I don't know whether your school have decided on the pairs, or you mean the part 3? Yes, the part 3, you all have that 6 points. All right, Siti Rokia, you need to make sure you cover all the 6 points, because later you have to make a decision which one is the best reason or best point or best whatever, right? So how can you make the decision if you have not spoken on all the points? Correct? So you have 2 minutes. That's why I say you can sometimes combine the points and say this and this both equally important, because what? Instead of speaking at each point by itself. So if you can see any points that you can combine, you combine it. Okay. Yes, you have to come to an agreement to that same point, because the question is you have to decide on which is the best reason. So there should only be one. So that's where we see how you do your turn taking and how you collaborate and how you come to an agreement. Okay? I don't know whether your school have decided how they're going to do the pairing. Okay, so if your school can share, let you know how the pairing is done. If you already know who your pair is, you can practice with your pair on any questions. So it helps. You're welcome. Any question? I know it's clear. You only have questions when you start doing it on your own, like writing. That's why you all had more questions in writing, because when you do your writing, you realize that you have a lot of questions. But when it comes to speaking, if you have not practiced it, you would not have any questions. Okay. Did you all learn? Did you? I don't know whether I helped you okay, this is how a LAR looks like, right? Okay, actually LARE was a word that is already obsolete. If you go and Google LARE, you will find that it's actually, it had meaning long time ago, but it no longer has, right? But LAR is an animal, so cute, all right? So Noraiman, you will always remember this animal. So listen, the small a is to ask if required. The big A is to answer whatever question has been asked of you. And R is to give reasons for it. And E is, all the small letter is an option. E, elaborate. If you don't have a reason, then you elaborate. So this is a LAR. Okay, this is a LAR. So you know how it looks like now. So you realize I got a tape and I got a LAR. So these are my animals. Okay, all Asian, because LAR also you only get to find in Malaysia and Thailand, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's the end. Do we need to speak? All right, Alia. No, Alia, you can speak to your friend when you are, okay, in part 2, when you are talking and explaining things to the interlocutor, because that interaction is between you and the interlocutor, part 2, right? Definitely there is some formality there, right? But when you come to the discussion, it's fine. You can discuss with your friends, like how you discuss with friends, it's fine. Okay. Alia, you like to use, I know, informal language a lot. You can, but try to control that because there is people watching. Okay. You can speak in formal way with your partner, but when anytime you talk to the interlocutor, it be in a formal way. Does that help you, Alia? I cannot give you a true like a straightforward answer because I don't know how the situation is until it happens in front of me. Okay. All right. Any questions? No. If no, good luck. And thank you for inviting me. I hope I have helped you in both your writing and your speaking. Okay, so I'm giving you back. It's 12:30 sharp, so that's I get to stop exactly on time. All right, take care. I'm giving you back to your teacher, Cikgu Siti Nur Isma.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ilha, for all of your tips and techniques on how to answer the speaking paper. And I believe now that the students now get a clearer picture on how to answer the speaking paper. Okay, just a reminder, okay, just now I mentioned in the chat section that the attendance list is only for students, but my bad, actually all teachers and students should be filling in the attendance as well, okay, because that will link to the e-set that will be given to you later. And all students and teachers, you are also asked to fill in the feedback form. Okay, you can scroll up the in-call messages to find the link that I have attached there just now, right? Okay, so before we end our session, I would like to invite Madam Wanira, the head of English panel of SAKBA, to give the closure speech.
Okay, actually we're running out of time, but actually just a few minutes. I would like to extend from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the English panel Sekolah Menengah Sains Kepala Batas, our deepest appreciation to the speaker for today, Dr. Ilha, for the wonderful and fruitful sharing on tips and techniques in answering the English SPM paper focusing on writing and speaking. As I mentioned earlier, we're kind of nervous when we want to approach you online, but caught by surprise that you actually responded to our message and accepted the invitation. Thank you so much, Dr. Ilha, for your kindness. Hopefully all the participants from all the schools, actually they were requested for more slots, but we couldn't afford it. Okay, this is the best that the most participants that we could accept. And hopefully you have gained something beneficial, something useful, and you will apply all the knowledge and the acronyms and the funny acronyms that we learned today. And last but not least, of course, CFR is very much new to most of us. Until we get the hang of it, especially for the teachers, in terms of the markings, perhaps you're still not familiar with that. And on the students' part, maybe you are curious how are you going to score in the papers, right? Thank you so much. And last but not least, I would like to thank all the members of my panel mates, especially Teacher Esma, the Form 5 coordinator, for making this online seminar a success. Thank you so much. Till we meet again, hopefully.